All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Red Fox hosting yet another BS Busters. This one's going to be a little bit different. Instead of talking about the industry, because the industry has been surreptitiously confronting some harsh truths over the past few weeks, or I'd say week or so. We're going to talk about games. The main topic is games that we're looking forward to playing this year. These don't have to be just video games. These could also be board games, tabletop games. Hell, if you got tickets to an NBA game, you could talk about that shit too. But video games will actually be the primary focus. And while we're here, but before we get to the main topic, we have a couple of intros to get out of the way. Other people might join, so they might miss the intro section, but hey, they should have been here earlier. So without further ado, we'll let our main man, the dude who has not been on one of these casts for quite some time, but is actually, believe it or not, the co-host of BS Busters, Triple M.
Well, thank you for the intro, and this is Triple M, the lone wolf in Fonts for Games that pops out my artworks, and this podcast might be very short or very long on what we could be discussing.
Okay, and we also have Kanushi Abominito, who will introduce himself.
Hello, my name's Kanashi Abominito, and if you're on the fence, if you're on the fence when it comes to Splatoon, it's a pretty good game. It's pretty hot. I would pick it up. I was on the fence. I wasn't sure if I was going to get that game with all the controversy surrounding it, but you know what? Voice chat really isn't necessary, and it's a pretty good game.
Now, see, you're going to have them coming to your channel, spamming you, calling you a Wii U. Next, we're joined by KH Anime, who will introduce himself.
Welcome. What's up, community, YouTube, whole nine, KH Anime here. Remember, keep calm and game on. Splatoon is an awesome game. I was on the fence of it too, but I'm thankful that I now have to worry about dealing with the whole, am I a kid or am I squid?
You're both. No. You're bisquidule.
And just time for the update.
He's bisquidule. Okay. Okay. So we also have Dr. Feelgood, who is currently in the middle of something right now, who may or may not answer when he's called. Hey, Dr. Feelgood, you want to give your intro? Okay, apparently he's in the middle of something right now. He'll join in when he can. So, without further ado, let's get started with the podcast, with the first section, which I like to call structured topics, aka, questions that I'm going to ask the panelists and they'll answer. So my first question/topic is this: what would your favorite video game console manufacturer have to do in order to completely and totally alienate you? I mean, what would they have to do to make you say, fuck you guys, I'm done, and just like turn in your shit and just be like, fuck you guys, I'm out, peace? Well, what would be the unforgivable sin?
Well, mine would be if Nintendo essentially pulled a transformer, said transform, roll out, turn into the PS4 or Xbox One, and pulled all the same stuff that Sony and Microsoft are doing. That's something that would alienate me.
Okay, all right. Who
Well,
wants to go next?
there's actually one company that already did that with me, and it's called Sega.
Sega! Sega does what Nintendo don't. Now, see, we thought that was a bad thing back in the day, but now we're like, they really do what Nintendo. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right.
Pretty much my favorite console manufacturer is Nintendo. the thing that they will do, now I say, you know what, screw you, is if they follow exactly what these journalists and game media wants them to do, become just like Sony and Microsoft, and not just that, but it's like it'd be like a slap in the face, and if they forget what made them so good in the first place, like if they do be just like Sony and Microsoft, I could see them like focusing less on like their IPs like Mario and Zelda in exchange for more exclusive third-party content. So if they became just like the other two and pretty much forget what made them so great in the first place, I'll be like, you know what, screw it. Back to retro gaming only I go, and PC too.
Okay, all right. Who wants to go next?
Man, I thought someone in here would drop Konami.
No, it's a video game console manufacturer. So whoever makes a console.
Oh, just the console manufacturer.
Just the console manufacturer, yeah.
Then I have to retract my statement about Sega, but although they were a video game console, and the track record that's been happening recently is practically making me ashamed to call myself a Sega fan. But I'll give a few key pointers. If Nintendo was going to do the same thing that these third parties are doing, as in shipping out broken games, then have wax on, wax off, patch it later or not, and still say it with the not patching later. That would say F you, buy our next game. That's one. Two, this is what I kind of despise Microsoft for doing this when they use the word backward compatibility, and it's not really like that. So you mean to tell me I can't even use my last gen game, put it in the console, and even though I'm probably not online, I still can't play the bloody thing. Even though now they have this list of having 20 games that you can play with the and I'm using air quotations here, backwards compatibility.
Well, first of all, just a short thing. The backwards compatibility on the Xbox One is emulation. So just people need to understand that shit. It's emulation, and it's not even real emulation. What they're doing is like literally it's a virtual console basically.
It's virtual.
Is what it is. It's a virtual console. Yeah.
Why they name it like that? Why use the word backward compatibility, which is that's not really doing that.
Well, I mean, the thing you have to understand about Microsoft is that they're all about smoke and mirrors. Okay, like no substance. Just if people think it, then it must be true.
And boy, that I inhaled that smoke and didn't even know that I was looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah,
until Poppy 2K basically shattered and.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I knew that they were bullshitting me when they said, "Well, you have to download the game and you need it goes to your hard drive." I'm like, this shit isn't backwards compatibility. This shit is fucking. You're basically they made it so that the Xbox One can emulate Xbox 360 games. That's what they did.
So it's not even true emulation. It's just an emulator running through a virtual machine.
That's basically what it is. Okay, and
that's crazy.
It's bullshit. And I mean, people should know this about me. I don't like when people bullshit me. That's my only real pet peeve that I have. I don't like people bullshitting me. That's my if you're gonna lie to me, but don't bullshit me. That's
my question is, what's the problem with emulation?
Well, the problem is that legally speaking, Microsoft cannot.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Legally speaking, Microsoft can't just release a game. They can't just legally, because the Xbox One was made with backwards compatibility in mind, and they're emulating they can't okay, you know how with the Wii U is also a Wii, or the Wii was also a GameCube. So if you had GameCube games or Wii games, you could just play them on your next gen console of the time. But the thing is that with this backwards compatibility, they have to go and basically get on their knees and beg for the digital rights to these games to be played on the system, which is why you're seeing such a limited amount. Because the Xbox 360 had a library that was over 1,000 strong. You only have access to less than 0.2% of all of them.
So Microsoft doesn't actually own the right to their, to their the DRM to their console.
No, you notice that a lot of the games that Microsoft is getting on their system for quote unquote backwards compatibility are games that they do, like Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect. Microsoft originally published that game. So, and it was people forget that Mass Effect was a PC and Xbox, the original Xbox exclusive for 5-6 years, and it finally came to the PS3.
Hey guys,
How's it going, dude?
I'm sorry I missed the beginning. Well, I actually didn't miss it. I was here and I heard most of what you guys have been talking about. But when you did the greetings, I was locked in a very fierce ranked battle. And when I say very fierce, let me just say, I will describe it to you briefly. It was tower control, salt spray rig, the new tower control design they have going on.
Yeah.
And basically, we wrote it all the way down to I think 24 points, and then they came back and wrote it down to 23. And in the last 10 seconds, it was back in the middle, and basically I got on it, activated Kraken, wrote it, and when I say I got killed, a teammate and I got killed right as it hit 23. But by the time we got killed in the register, it rolled down to
Hello?
what the hell just happened?
I have no idea.
Did you guys hear anything I even said?
Yeah, I heard you, but it just got
I
quiet
was
after
talking, and then everyone dropped, and then we came back again. I guess Google is still going through their growing pains of separating themselves from YouTube. So my question to you guys is, to Dr. Feelgood, is this: what would your favorite video game console manufacturer have to do in order to completely just make you say, you know what, fuck these guys, and say, just drop dime, just be like, you know what, I'm done with you guys, I'm out. Just walk away. Be like Token in South Park when he saw that when they found that video, and he watched it, and then they were playing make believe, he's like, fuck it, he's like, I'm out. He's just like, fuck it.
What would my Okay, so it's obvious, of course. I won't hide it. My preferred console to play on is the Wii U right now. Basically, Nintendo consoles overall. Although I do own many consoles that span the generations back to the early '80s. But I digress. So Nintendo's my favorite console right now. My favorite console maker. Have been for a while. But what would they have to do to completely make me just abandon them and just jump ship, period, and just say screw it?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of hard to say, because if Nintendo decided to go third party, which they won't, but let's say they did, I won't necessarily jump ship, because that doesn't mean their games won't be good. See, some people get pissed off at the prospect of certain things, like no voice chat in a shooter. Ooh. But moving on, things like that don't bother me. Like, Nintendo will probably have to start making shitty games. When Nintendo makes shitty, broken, buggy, incomplete games, and it's consistent across their major franchises, which is The Legend of Zelda, Mario, anything, basically. And you got Donkey Kong, you got Metroid. When they start making just really shitty games, that's and this, and I'm not talking about maybe for a year. This have to go on for quite some time. I don't mean 10 years, but let's just say right now the Wii U. Let's just say right now for the Wii U, if the next year of games on the Wii U, let's just forget the NX even was talked about. If the next year of games had nothing but broken, buggy ass games and incomplete, completely the opposite of what I'm accustomed to with them, then yeah, I would jump ship. I wouldn't forsake them forever, but I would jump ship because see, I'm not tied to a console manufacturer. They don't pay my bills. So in the words of the Good Shepherd and a few other people I know, I go where the games are. Now, will I buy a console? When I spend $400 to $500 on a console when it only has two games I want to play? Probably not. But I go where the games go. Everybody has a down period. So honestly, Nintendo have to do everything wrong in the industry and pretty much probably all at once for me to jump ship. And it's not that's not to say that I will take some bullshit when I see it because I don't. I tweeted today about the issues that I have with the update for Splatoon. There are a couple of issues that I have that I don't like, but I mean, overall, it would take a lot. They have to give me broken, buggy, shitty games. They have to progress back. They have to go so far backwards where it's like, okay, now not only are you worse than Ubisoft and EA and Activision, but you're intentionally trying to, you know, be be a lot worse than they are. You're intentionally trying to do it, and we all know that's not going to happen.
Okay.
So that's me. I as a gamer, I follow the games, and just like I may talk shit about PS4, I may talk shit about Xbox One because I don't own those systems, not because I couldn't, because I don't think they're worthwhile right now. Although that's changing this holiday season. However, I have never abandoned those two companies because each of these companies, I have some very valuable memories playing their games, whether it be their multiplats or their exclusives. So no, I may talk shit about Sony, but I still own 3 out of 4 consoles that they have. I may talk shit about Xbox, but I still actually own their OG Xbox and the Xbox 360.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Who wants to get in? Who still wants to get in on this topic if they want
Oh,
to? Who wants to?
well, I didn't finish my third part. My third and final part is just like what KH Anime said. If they actually, stop making games that um, that we know and love, all those franchises, and basically, kick the shins out of them, leave them in the overpass, have a train just ram over them, and then make new stuff like they change so much. I'm like, what's going on with this company? And I could in this regard, I do understand for the fans of the F-Zero franchise to a certain extent, um, uh, the Mother fans, and even Star Fox fans. But you know what? No. Now let's take out Star Fox because they actually had the OG. Uh, I wouldn't even mention the Metroid fans because I'm like, oh, but yeah, if they just dump on their old franchise, never return to them again, and consider me as a Mario fan, which they ever do that with the Mario franchise, yeah, that would be a very deep gnaw.
Okay. So basically, if they abandoned their core franchises, that and along with those other 2 points, that would basically make you say, you know what, fuck these guys.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Who wants to? Let's see. Cage Anime's gone. Kenoshi's gone. Dr. Feelgood's gone. Uh, by the way, we do have the Q&A app open, so if anyone wants to ask any questions, yes, Anderson Archilla has once again been a great Q&A app user for our channel. We'll get to that later. I guess I'll answer this question. I'll make it quick. I would get pissed off if obviously I'm a Nintendo fan. I am a video game fan, and I have lots of retro systems. I'm a Nintendo fan because they got me into gaming. And I would be mad if Nintendo abandoned taking risks and doing new things and just stuck with being like the status quo. Like if their next console was just a more powerful version of what they had last gen, or their next handheld was just a more powerful version of what they had last gen with no innovations or new ideas in gameplay or styles of games that could be made, I would be pissed and I would just stop, because they would be like the other two console manufacturers. And, you know, a universe of the same thing is boring. You know, even if it's wonderful. Like, I love pizza, but if I ate pizza morning, day, and night every day for the rest of my life, I'm pretty sure that, but you know, after 5 or 6 years, I would get tired of pizza too. So, you know, I like the idea that they try different things, and if they basically started trying to just increase more polygons with no innovation in how things are played, no new ways to play things, no way to immerse you in the game, I probably wouldn't give a shit. I just hang up my jacket. So, yeah. Okay, then.
I forgot to mention something else. Now, all of us actually have a kind of a deep hatred with when it comes to the Mario Party series, how it was annualized. And
it's not even that it's not that it's annualized. That what bothers me is that it's the same game over and over again with very little innovation.
It's lost without Hudson Soft too, I believe. They hit the stride when when Hudson developed.
Yeah. It has no real variety to it. It's just it's a board game. I mean, I play Monopoly maybe once every 3 or 4 years because it's so goddamn long. It's like, I don't get the point.
You can spend a week on just one game of Monopoly if you wanted to. Monopoly.
Which is the reason why I call it annualized. Didn't have enough time to actually basically making anything new. But now that I've read back on the release dates of the series, and I gotta say, at least I am going to put my hatred just a little bit lower, because after 2007, when they actually came out with Mario Party 8 on the Wii, they actually stopped the annualization from that point on, because the next game came out in 2012, which is like what 5 years of rest, which is thank God. And then Mario Party 10, which is 2015.
Okay.
Well, 3 years of difference. 3 years of difference. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let them slide. I'm gonna let them slide a little bit.
All right.
And that's just count the console games, because
the handheld games, yeah.
Because the handheld games, I'm also noticing. Oh, they're actually giving it some space. Like the one on the Advance was 2005. The DS is 2007, and even 3DS is actually 2013. So
Okay.
Nintendo. Okay.
So basically it's just that they haven't really changed the style of gameplay. So it basically is like the same thing. Like, to tell you the truth, the Wii U one is the newest version they've had, because you can play as Bowser and messing with people's shit. I mean, which is kind of unique. Okay, so I guess it's time to move on to the next topic, which isn't that huge, but it's my podcast, so I put it in there. So basically, the next topic is, in light of the dismal showing of Fantastic Four, spoiler, I did see it today, and the subsequent reviews, what do you think the future of the franchise is? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Nintendo's going to buy that shit? Do you think that
with that.
do you think Marvel's going to buy that shit back? Do you think that maybe perhaps let's see. You think Fox is going to be like, oh shit, we clearly don't know what the hell we're doing? Do you think Josh Trank better watch out when he walks to his car tonight, because they're going to have a dude with a 2x4 to beat the shit out of him when he...
What was wrong with that? What was wrong with that movie? Why
You know what? I'm not even surprised that the Fantastic Four movie bombed, because I had that in the back of my mind. I just really wish that Fox was going to prove me wrong, and well, it was the exact opposite.
Yeah, they wasn't going to prove nobody wrong. Okay, basically, I'll tell you why the movie was bad. Okay, it's very simple, really. The movie was bad because, well, okay. Before I get into why the movie was bad, I'm just going to give you a little bit of history. The Fantastic Four came out in like 19. Here, let me look this up real quick, because I have a lot of those old comics, but I don't have the oldest ones. But I'm going to Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four is considered to be one of the they're one of the founding. Okay, it came out in 1961. Okay, Fantastic Four, believe it or not, was published in like an Amazing Stories novel, like Amazing Detective Stories. Well, not amazing, like Amazing Stories from Marvel. And what happened is that at that time they were actually being published by a subsidiary of DC, and they didn't even have their four iconic Fantastic Four outfits on. They were just like, they looked like detectives with superpowers. Okay, yeah. And because Marvel was afraid that if DC found out that they were making a superhero comic, because you have to remember there was a crash previously of the comic book industry. People were tired of superheroes, apparently. DC would put the kibosh on it, but eventually they found out that DC didn't really give a shit, and they put the Fantastic Four out there. Fantastic Four basically started the Silver Age of comic books. They're the first time we actually saw a family, a family unit that was interacting. It was just about as much about the personal dramas as it was about saving the world from, the freak of the week or the freak of the run or whatever. And you had this dynamic. You had Reed Richards, who just wanted to be the everyman. He wanted to stretch into all the roles. You had Sue Storm, who was trying to desperately, she had self-esteem issues. She wanted to be invisible. You had Johnny Storm, who was the rowdy, hothead asshole, who was constantly a thorn in the side to the stoic, guy who had Reed's back, Ben Grimm. And that's the archetype they had. No matter what incarnation you use of the Fantastic Four, and yes, there have been multiple incarnations, as long as you have that dynamic, it works. Well, Josh Trank happened and fucked that shit up. Even if you, and here's the thing, it has nothing to do with, like, some people, I can't believe the new Human Torch is black. That has nothing to do with it. It really doesn't. That has nothing to do with it. The thing is that these characters have a certain archetype. It's like if you had a Ghostbusters film and you didn't acknowledge the archetypes, like if you didn't have a brainy person, a sarcastic goof-off, a guy who's kind of clueless but knows his shit, and the everyman. That's basically the archetypes you have to have in order to make that shit work. And Josh Trank completely ignored all of those and fucked up. So that's why the movie sucked.
Were they just cookie cutter cliche characters?
No, the archetypes were all screwed up. For example, Reed Richards, this Reed Richards is in his mid to early 20s, which kind of fucks up the dichotomy because Reed Richards has always been kind of like the father figure to the Fantastic Four. How the fuck can you be a father figure when you're 24 years old in the movie? Like, that's your age. Like, you know, that, like, we're going to follow this guy to save the world, really? And, Junior, come back when you can shave, motherfucker. You know.
For some ironic reason, it seems like they got that chemistry right with the first movie.
Yeah, well, the first movie they got the archetypes right. It was serviceable but silly. But this movie they fucked it up. I mean, Reed Richards is way too damn young. Ben Grimm has absolutely no these people have no chemistry on screen.
So, let me ask you one question, because I've heard the bits and pieces. So, would you say it's better or worse than the first one?
Worse, way worse.
Really?
Look at the rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It says it all right there.
No, not even. Look, I'm not telling you this as okay, I'm going to critique this movie. I will do a video critiquing this movie, but it's not just as a critic. It's bad because you can tell where after they got finished locking Josh Trank out of the movie, out of the producer seat, where the associate producers and studio editors went and tried to fix this movie, and they did reshots and shit, and it's just bad editing. Clearly the actors didn't want to be in this film. You could just, they have zero chemistry. The movie is just this movie is worse in terms of having egregious film mistakes than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was bad.
Dang.
Was it worse than The Last Airbender? Just to compare it.
No. It's not.
Oh god, why you had to bring that up?
No, it's not as look. It's not as bad as an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong film, but it is pretty bad.
Oh, that's too bad. Marvel needs to go in there like a raven, like I was saying before the podcast, and swoop up and take the rights away in the cover of darkness.
No, they need to. I tell you what Marvel needs to be like. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Anyone here ever seen the movie I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
Oh my god, that's a long time ago. I've even forgotten.
I was saying, would you? To be fair though, Fantastic Four is nowhere near as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution.
No, but that's hard to do. Now, okay, here let me tell you what Marvel needs to do. Marvel needs to be like the pimp Sly guy in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. The end of in the movie, he's like, I'm coming back. He's in jail. He's like, when I get out of jail, I'm coming back. I'm taking back what's mine. That's what Marvel needs to do to Fox with the Fantastic Four. They need to kick the door in with some of Disney's money in their back pocket and say, look, motherfucker, I'm taking back what's mine because your ass don't know what the fuck you doing. You know, because they don't. They don't. First of all, why would you give a film like this to the guy who made Chronicle? Chronicle's not even that good of a movie. Okay. Is it? You don't give.
Because we need money and we're trying to stay relevant.
No, Fox didn't need the money. They wanted to retain the rights to something that they're not going to make a good movie about. I mean, it's like Microsoft. We're going to make a console to keep Sony out of the computer market, even though Sony has never the only software that Sony makes for computers is their shitty movie software and sound editing software. That's it. I'm sorry. It was bad. This movie, I'm just telling you right now, don't watch this movie if you can. Just don't. Just be like, you know what? I don't need it that bad.
No, I never really was interested in the Fantastic Four. I never really, I don't know, I just never really found Fantastic Four all that interesting.
No, you want to see a good comic book movie? Go watch Ant-Man. It's way better. At least with Ant-Man, you'll get some funny You'll get some action. You know, it's going to be great.
Aren't people upset that, you know, Ant-Man wasn't the one who created?
Where's my team at?
Isn't Ant-Man upset? Isn't not Ant-Man? Aren't people upset that Ant-Man wasn't the one who created Voltron?
Ultron? Well, some people were mad about it. I personally, you know, I'm a Marvel fan, so I like all things Marvel. So
sacrilege.
Like,
My
was
rival.
How do you go from 100 to 0 from one match to the other?
I mean, I'll be frank, I was kind of mad about it, but then I was like, wait a second. You know, like, as long as you have someone who's a complete and total asshole, like, who's an egotistical asshole, make Ultron, which in this case, in the cinematic universe they make, Tony Stark fits the bill very well. So it works out very well, you know? I mean, just people, like, okay, let me put it this way. The Ant-Man movie wasn't completely true to the comics. It basically took 3 or 4 takes on Ant-Man and combined them to create their cinematic universe version. But it still wasn't like, well, fuck the source material. Fantastic Four was a big, well, fuck the source material. It's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where April named the turtles and she fed them pizza and they were her pets, and she landed the finishing blow on Shredder, not the turtles. I mean, it's just God, fuck Michael Bay. But
it's kind of how can I put this? There was a YouTuber that's named Emergency Awesome, and he's actually pretty awesome, by the way. But he was before he actually saw the movie, he was actually compare. No. Well, he brought this interesting reason why this Fantastic Four looked so at least looks so different, and the backstory has changed because this movie was being adapted by I forgot which version of this Fantastic Four is.
It's the ultimate Fantastic Four.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, that was it. So even I thought, I was like, okay, let's hope they don't mess this thing up. But from what I am hearing from you, the way how the characters interact with each other, I'm like, yeah, they definitely F this up again.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing, okay? Saying that it's based off of the Ultimate Universe or something doesn't mean, well, that's why it's so fucked up, because those Sam Raimi Spider-Man films that everyone loves, the first 2, Ultimate Spider-Man, that's who it was based off of, Ultimate Spider-Man, because Ultimate Spider-Man has organic web shooters. He doesn't have, he didn't invent the web shooters. They're just a part of his natural abilities. And yet, that's who they had. The Green Goblin, Mary Jane Watson, like all those Venom, all that shit. The Dr. Octopus they had in Spider-Man 2, that was Ultimate Dr. Octopus. That wasn't like old school Amazing Spider-Man Dr. Octopus. So I mean, like, you can do an ultimate version of a comic book character and have it be good. It's just in this case, Josh Trank was not the guy. He was not the one. And you know, I hope it bombs so that Marvel will come and get their shit back. Because clearly at this point, like, can we throw the dirt on the Fantastic Four franchise as it exists with Fox? Like, the first movie was pretty good. The second one was okay. Well, I know the second one was terrible because they turned Galactus.
Now you're saying good.
No, the first one was good. It wasn't great. It was good.
I didn't mean the second one. It was terrible.
The second one was a piece of shit. The second one was, I mean, they turned Galactus into a damn dust cloud, which is some bullshit. I'm sorry. How do you turn Galactus into a dust cloud? I don't get that, but whatever. And then they made the That's it. Just the first one was shit. The second one was hopefully not shit. Well, the first one was good. The second one was shit, and the third one, sorry, the reboot. But I'm gonna call it the third Fantastic Four, shit as well. So let's move on to free topics, which Triple M has something he's been wanting to bring up for weeks, if not months, about Engadget. Go ahead. This is your topic.
Yeah, well, since I couldn't bring this up right on the it was definitely a time that it was a sad time to mourn. So reason why I kind of hold it off a little because if anyone went to the article, just by the title first, it says Nintendo was right, we were wrong. And first question to anyone here: does this title sound clickbaitish to you?
No.
Yes.
It does sound clickbaitish, but not for the reason you might think.
Yeah, it's not as bad. It's not as bad like some others that we've seen.
Because I'm only asking because they could have gone with something like this. Nintendo sets its own path. We forgot to understand that. I mean, that would have been much more appropriate. It's just that the title that they set on, it was really kind of like a stab or a jab at anyone, and someone could take it really the wrong way. But I digress. Moving on. Now, I wanted to do this when I read through the article, and I've seen, I guess, plenty of writers that actually had a U-turn or a second thought about the Wii U, because by that point everyone was like, well, mostly everyone was bashing at how it performs, and and quote, Nintendo's behind the times, or Nintendo just don't get it, and all of that. But for the most part, I've seen people was saying that, and then there was a almost completely 180 from these very same writers when you read on. Now there was some few that actually said about that that he's not a Nintendo apologist, which to some certain extent I could agree.
I have a question. What is a Nintendo apologist?
That's a good question. What is a Nintendo apologist?
It's like
What they do is equate it to religion. They equate it to, you're like a religious zealot for Nintendo, and you're trying to convince everyone to.
No. When someone says an apologist to me, I'm thinking, okay, someone who is a slavery apologist or a Nazi apologist or the Confederacy apologist. You know, people who do horrifically evil things, but you always have some idiot who's going to stand up and be like, well, actually, it's, the African Americans in America who were descended from slaves should be thankful that their ancestors were bought and sold for money or traded for shitty goods in order to come to another country, lose their identity, and be forced to pick cotton and whatever cash crop existed at the time, and for grits and rags and occasionally some chitlins.
Now you see, I was just about to say, that practically a yes man for Nintendo, but yeah, Red Fox, you really nailed on it.
That is an apologist. That is the definition of an apologist right there. That's. I think when the people, but if I mean, basically, if you want to know the relationship that Nintendo gamers, well, from what I've been able to observe, have with Nintendo, it's more like this.
Fuck.
You've got the hardcore fans. Yes, that is correct, KH Anime.
No, I'm playing Splatoon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know you're playing Splatoon. I think it's more like this. Like unless you're a hardcore Nintendo fan, it's more like this. Okay, we give them our money. They give us a relatively good product, new ways to play games. Games that delight and entice and excite us, and they take risks. Doesn't always pay out. Look at the Wii U. Look at the Virtual Boy. But at least they're trying to do something new in this industry. Whereas, we've got two other console manufacturers who just basically give us the same shit, just with more polygons. Over every single console gen. It's just more of the same shit. Or even if they had something you liked last time, they kind of get rid of it and, like, where's Jack and Daxter? Where's Blinks the Time Cat?
Oh, it's not.
So, I mean, it's not that we're apologists. It's just we're just tired of people. We want new shit, and we want companies to try and do different things, not the same shit over and over again. Which is why it's actually a terrible thing that Microsoft dropped their anti-consumer DRM. Except, I mean, they didn't explain it well enough, and they didn't tell people what they were trying to do from the start, because they're not a video game company. They're not a console manufacturer. They're a software company. That's not their wheelhouse. But I'm sorry. I'm rolling into your topic. Continue.
I was going to top on that because I've seen some comments when I think it was that marketing guru, or maybe I'm wrong, but this guy Scott great now.
Scott Moffat.
Yeah, Scott Moffat. When he explained what Nintendo does is just, well, they're basically risk takers, and it's just that. But then I've seen a comment that says, before that, like you said, some risks pay off, others not so much. But there were some articles that, not articles. I mean, there was some comment that basically said, you know what, maybe Nintendo shouldn't be risky all the time, and just at least by one gen stick with or do kind of like Microsoft and Sony. And for some reason I'm like, really? You do know that Nintendo's been doing this almost every generation. You can it could be debatable with the GameCube, but even with that, they put new stuff on, at least on the controllers. But I digress. But now speaking about the whole U-turns of actually a realization of what. Oh my gosh, I can't. I have to say realization of what Nintendo was all about since day one, and that got me thinking of my own U-turn experience back back when they were releasing the Wii, and just offshoot with the GameCube. But before I go with my experience or my story, does anyone on this panel actually had that same experience?
Well, what experience are you talking about?
Like basically Nintendo's going down, and might as well jump ship before this happens, or before that happens, and And that, well, with me, I was in that mindset. Believe it or not, I was actually swept in the whole narrative at the time, before the Wii was released, and I'm like, and I was just looking at the sales, never mind anything else, and and I was thinking the exact same, as almost everyone else, that Nintendo's gonna be done for, after the GameCube, and I said my piece, and that was that. But then something told me, but after the Wii was released, something told me, you know what? Probably give Nintendo another one more chance. Yeah, bought the console, and if I bought the console, and I wasn't satisfied with the purchase, or at least with the games, yeah, I would be mad at myself that I basically wasted 250 of my currency, and done was that. But that wasn't exactly the case, because I actually adored the freaking Wii and the games that I bought for it.
Well,
Oh,
let's see, did I ever? Well, I mean, that's the thing. I've never felt that Nintendo was done. Like, I never felt like, you know how a lot of these gamers are like, Nintendo betrayed me. They said it with the Wii, and then
yeah.
they said it with the Wii U. Nintendo betrayed me. I was always I mean, I was a little bit skeptical with the Wii. I was. I was like, it didn't stop me from getting it day one though. But when I got it and I played Wii Sports, I was like, I get what they're going for here. I got the Wii U maybe 2 months after launch, and no, 4 months after launch, because I got it for my birthday. And I was like, huh. I played Wii Sports, not Nintendo Land, and I was like, I kind of can see what they're going for. And then I played Mario 3D World, and I was like, I get what it's about. I mean, like, the thing is that I've never felt that Nintendo betrayed me, because at the end of the day, as long as they continue to take risks and do things differently than what we're seeing from other developers, I mean, other console manufacturers, then I'm going to be happy with that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and I said this earlier, if we had a universe where even Sega was still around, and Microsoft was still around, or Sega was still around, and TurboGrafx was still around, all that shit was still around, and they were all making basically the same type of hardware. The games were the same on all the systems, but there was no real difference, no real risk taking, nothing new. That would be a shitty gaming environment to be in, at least to me. Just me personally.
What
And
in the hell?
Yes, well, anyone else had a similar experience?
Nah, I'm not me. I just pretty much when it comes to Nintendo console and handheld, it's like, well, as long as the game's good, I can care less how much it sells or whatsoever, because
yeah,
I know Nintendo's gonna be fine regardless because of their bank, and just pretty much they keep track of their costs and budget. They keep the budgets under control. So it's like I
yeah.
don't get into the whole, oh no, they didn't sell this or that. Oh no, that kind of ordeal.
There's only one thing.
It's pointless to do, in my opinion.
There's only one thing that I wish Nintendo would do. The only thing that I wish they would do. I wish they'd pull a Marvel with Rare. Not actually, no, fuck that. Marvel with Microsoft over Rare's IPs. That's it. And not even just Banjo-Kazooie and Jet Force Gemini. They can have the rest of that shit.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. Sorry for being so tardy. I took a nap after I got home from work. I was knocked the fuck out. So I woke up around 8:15, eating as I speak. But I guess what Triple M, you're asking about whether any of us had similar how do I say, opinions towards the lack of sales from the previous generation to the next, whether Nintendo will be successful or not. Is that what you're asking?
Well, the sales was kind of was the
It
lack
was
of that.
lower than N64. You're right.
Yeah, it was a turning point for me to expect that Nintendo was going to phase away, but
Yeah. Like the
it's
guy said, I mean, being an older gamer, I used to read the same doom and gloom articles back in the days when it was just print ads and print publications, and I used to always think to myself, why would they always say, why do they keep saying that this company is going to fail? Why do they want them to fail? And now that I'm older, I see the reality. They wanted them to fail because they were different. And so the fact that they were different and did things, I think, in a logical way where it makes business sense, financial sense, not to take everybody's risk on your shoulders and give the risk to those that want to make a profit, which is the third party devs. If they want to create a game system or excuse me, a game software on a hardware platform that was developed after billions of dollars of research by one other company, then why should that hardware developer take all the risk? And I always saw Nintendo stick to their guns about this. So I never felt like how I say, I never felt worried that they were going to go under because I understood the financials even back then when I was a younger guy that they didn't have the risk that all these projects that weren't selling very well or there wasn't a lot of consoles to sell on, their first party lineup was always very well received. It sold very well. So I never felt that way. But I can see how people that don't understand that those fundamental realities could feel that way. Not you know that's what the media wants you to think, anyways. By the way, thanks for having me on, Mr. Red Fox.
right. Tuba 5. What about you? Did you had an experience of a U-turn realization? I would like to call it, or have you not with Nintendo? Tuba? Oh, well, it seems like the doctor isn't here yet as well, so I might as well go to the next question.
Hello?
But before, uh,
I, well, for me, it was probably the DS. I kind of realized ultimately the DS is not my favorite console, but I understood because I was one of the people who thought when the PSP came out, I was like, man, it's gonna destroy the DS. It's over. The graphics are so much better. Then I realized the PSP couldn't stand a chance. They were buried, and I sort of started to understand Nintendo's method, why they do what they do.
Yeah, they have a formula, especially in their handheld department. Let me put it this way: the fact that Sony tried twice, like you would have thought they would have learned after that first time. Maybe we need to leave this shit the fuck alone. Like even Microsoft, someone's like, Microsoft, why don't you guys make a handheld? They're like, no, that's Nintendo's market.
Nintendo wasn't, and Nintendo never really. I don't think they really were on the cutting edge of technology, even with their consoles, because even the SNES or the NES was using pretty old parts, but
Yeah,
they knew how to optimize for those parts.
yeah.
So I don't know why people get so bent out of shape out of, oh, Nintendo's not on the cutting edge of technology. Well, none of these consoles are on the cutting edge of technology. If they were, it would be about $2,000,
Yep.
$50,000, and probably weigh about 50 pounds.
It would be expensive as hell. You're right.
And people realize Nintendo's never been about, oh, we got the best, most powerful console ever. It was always about this keyword, efficiency.
Yep.
Come on. Efficiency is the key because why else is like a lot of these first party Nintendo titles have 60 frames per second and don't have hardly any dips. And not only that, but the wattage consumption is very, very low. The Wii U actually consumes less wattage than the Wii did.
Yeah, exactly. You guys realize that Nintendo surviving the N64 era when all the third parties started jumping ship. That right there told us, I mean, folks like myself and many others, that they could survive. I mean, think about it. I mean, they survived on the power of their second party, Rare, and
Second,
first party.
second and first party. I mean, all Nintendo needs is to keep their budgets under control, and second and first party.
But not just because of that. Think about how expensive those cartridges were. They weren't just expensive to the third parties. They were expensive for Nintendo to manufacture.
Well, I mean, yes and no. The thing is that when Nintendo sold those cartridges to third parties, unless you cut a deal with them, they were going to sell you those cartridges so that they also made a profit on the medium. When they were selling them to themselves to make for their own games, they sold them at cost. Because, I mean, it makes no... I mean, that's one of the things that kind of hurt the Fairchild, the Channel F, was that you had, in order for them as video game manufacturers to make their own games, the other half of their company, the one that made the chipsets so that they could make their games, for the medium, would charge them like enough so that they could make a profit off of themselves, and that was unsustainable. So, I mean, like Nintendo, like, you know, cartridges have always been kind of expensive. They weren't going to charge themselves extra money to have the shit made when they own the factory and we're employing the people. Like, I mean, that's hurting yourself, you know. So, you know, yeah. But I understand what you're saying.
And then it's also surprising for me that the whole bedrock of how they're making their consoles and even the games is what Gunpei Yokoi basically said about making use of Wither technology. I'm surprised almost everyone forgot about that. But I digress. Tuba, I guess now that you're here, here's that question. Have you ever experienced that U-turn of actually a double thinking of what Nintendo really means, or how they make their games, consoles?
Well, I mean, I believe like that U-turn moment came like during the era of the N64. I know back in the day, the Super Nintendo was really popular, and you know after that generation had passed, you know I figured it was a no-brainer to get an N64 because I thought we'd get like a repeat of what happened, you know, last generation. And that U-turn moment came when Final Fantasy VII was announced for the PlayStation. Because at the time when the PlayStation was coming out, I was just like, okay, Sony's getting into consoles now. Like all they make is like, you know, they make electronics like you know, record players and all that, but like, you know, they're not really you know, a gaming company. So I never really paid attention to them. So I mean, when Nintendo lost you know, a big game like that, and also all the other third parties, that got me to think about, you know, like what was I wanted to look into, like what was the reason and the whole philosophy and you know, making console games. But it was fine because they had the rare games, which I enjoyed, the wrestling games and all that. And also when the GameCube came around, you know, I was a big Rare fan during those times. And when they lost Rare to, you know, to Microsoft, you know, that was kind of a big blow during the GameCube years. So at that point, I was just like, you know, what does it mean to, you know, to own a Nintendo system? Like, I really had to think about like why I owned a, you know, a GameCube, you know, back in the day. I mean, I still enjoyed its games, but you know, it just, you know, I was just still trying to figure out like what's what's really happening. And it wasn't until like when the Wii and the DS were coming out, when I started to look into like the business strategy of and more into like the business side of Nintendo, and started to get a better understanding. I mean, so I hope that answers your question.
Oh, it sure did. Now, the, the doctor hasn't come back yet, but I probably guess that his answer would be he never had that U-turn moment. But before I go to the other questions, I wanted to give Poppy 2K and Tuba a chance about the earlier one that they missed, which is um, the title of the Engadget article. Um, would you two think that it's a little clickbait?
Oh, the one that talks about like if that we were wrong, Nintendo was right.
Yes, because for me, I thought it was a bit clickbaitish because they could have had a better title or a more uh
Yeah, to me, I mean, to me, it just pointed out it kind of pointed out like kind of like the what was really like what was going on within like especially within the journalist community where everybody's like ragging on Nintendo and just bashing him for whatever reason and I mean it could be I can see how it could be a little bit clickbaity, but I didn't I mean I didn't see it that way. I mean I just thought okay maybe we can I can read an article that that deals with maybe some with an article that I can read without like any type of bias, about what Nintendo is doing with the Wii U. That was what my mentality was going into looking at that article for the first time.
right, because I made like an example of a much more neutral title, which there was the word I was looking for, neutral, which is Nintendo sets its own path, and we forgot to understand that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good title too. I mean it's a bit more neutral. But I suppose they were trying to get some kind of attention as well with what they were with how they titled it.
Well, they sure got some attention, but yeah. Before I go to that, Poppy 2K, what are your thoughts on the title?
Um, Obviously, that's why these media outlets create these type of titles that they grab your attention. Whether it was a genuine article about facts and objective information, remains to be answered, I guess, by the person that reads it. But um, it's always been this way. Nintendo does. They slip out the gate, or they slip off the gate, and immediately they start pouncing on them about how it's a failure and that they're going to get out of the market and all this other shit. Shouldn't that open up the eyes of many of you guys, like especially with folks with logical common sense, to the fact that hey, why do they keep trying to tell me and convince me, to believe a certain way when I don't really believe like that?
Hmm.
It's with anything, and it's with anything in media. Whenever somebody's trying to convince you to think a certain way, when you know for a fact in your heart that it doesn't seem like it's correct, then you should really question that. You should really research that. You should really look into it for yourself and figure out whether it's fact or it's subjective. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of people telling me how to think. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
want to listen. I want to listen to people that tell me to think outside the box and give me ideas on different perspectives. That's what I want. I don't want people to tell me the same bullshit, rehashed doom and gloom. The world's coming to the end, or we're gonna go to hell, or you know what I'm saying? The same
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit. There's nothing
Yep.
positive. Come on now. So I mean, Nintendo is doomed. They've been doomed since the Super Nintendo, days. Where they didn't sell as many as the NES and all this other bullshit, and they stuck to the cartridge on the N64.
Before that, like the funny thing is that every time Nintendo comes out with a new console, it's doomed. They're doomed to failure. Like they
Absolutely.
came out with the NES. This market, that consoles are dead. The PC is the next gaming platform. And then they were like, okay, that was when the NES launched in America. Then the SNES. Can Nintendo survive Sega? Look, all I'm gonna say is this: Sega is dead. Okay,
Yeah,
as a console
exactly.
manufacturer, Nintendo's still cranking out games and systems and hardware and software. Then the N64. The Sony is going to destroy Nintendo. Yeah, okay, yeah. What company has lost like 60% of their value over the last 25 years? Not Nintendo. Then the GameCube. Oh man, this system. It's a lunchbox. It's totally outclassed.
Yeah, I remember them fucking game.
Yeah, and then the Wii. Oh man, this underpowered, weak, gimmicky console that forced. I mean, I listened to a podcast today where a guy said, and he was a Nintendo employee. I forgot his name, but he told the truth. He said, look, they laughed at the Wii. They said, oh, it's got motion control. That's such a gimmick. But it forced Microsoft and Sony to create the Kinect and the Move. So who the fuck is the bitch in this relationship?
Exactly.
And also, what a lot of people forget too is that Nintendo was the main reason why Sony and Microsoft decided to release their next generation consoles. And I mean, as far as the consoles that they released that maybe didn't get any third party support, because a lot of people get a Nintendo for that, but like you're really starting to see, especially with the Wii U, and especially since we were talking about that Gadget article, you can see how like Nintendo's first party is really being shown as a strength, rather than the lack of third party of it, on the system being a weakness. Because a lot of the third parties out right now, third party games, they're pretty shitty. Yeah.
I mean, let's just.
And also, no, just one more thought. I just wanted to say too, like even you can see like even companies like Microsoft are starting to shy away from like these third party deals, like the whole thing with Call of Duty, like they're not getting putting in the money to get the exclusive DLC. Obviously, because we see that the Call of Duty is selling more, Multiplex is selling more on the PS4, but now Phil Spencer has a stance where he wants to invest more in like first-party development rather than the third-party, getting third-party exclusives.
What a novel idea is that?
And it's like Nintendo's been doing that, for the longest time with their first-party games, and like now, like I feel like with
Phil does it. He gets a pat on the back. You know what's even funny though? People are like, "Well, Phil Spencer said this." Actually, Phil Spencer doesn't have shit to do with it. You know what happened? When Nadella came in, Nadella was like, the shareholders are like, "We have this division that we pumped billions of dollars into for 15 years, and we've gotten nothing out of it. We're not going to pump any more money beyond like this level of budget level of money into it. They can't. Microsoft's Xbox division can't afford to money hat shit anymore. They can't. It's too much. It's too expensive."
Oh, by the way,
the problem, the reality, one of the things that Nintendo forced Microsoft and Sony to do was the whole second screen companion app, or at least third parties. I know people were chasing the whole second screen experience.
Yeah, because they thought the Wii U was going to take off, but it didn't, and so you saw them abandon that shit, didn't you?
Yep.
The Microsoft Glass and this. Hey, you can use the Vita to do this second. Hey, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Look, if you're not going to make a game built around it, then don't even pigeonhole it into your damn system. But that's Microsoft and Sony for you. Stealing Nintendo shit since 2000 something.
By the way, that person is Chris Pranger of Nintendo Treehouse Localization.
Yeah. This is a guy who actually works for Nintendo, so he knows. So he actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. He literally does get paid by Nintendo.
So hold up, is Nintendo sending out spokesmen now to start slapping the shit out of some of these guys?
Which is kind of surprising to me, because the way Chris Pranger introduces himself or talked about how his job.
He must be taking over for what's his name? He must be taking his position. What's his name?
Well, one of his bosses is actually Nate Beldorf, which I'm like, wait a minute, this guy sounds like a low level localization, and I'm like, really, they let this person speak?
They let Nintendo. Here's one thing I have to give it to Iwata, since because this is like an Iwata thing that started under Iwata. Iwata really started to peel the curtains back and show you the man behind the curtain, with a lot of how Nintendo does their stuff. You know, like we used to think it was just magic and fairy tales how Nintendo made their games. No, it's just having really good developers and hard work and dedication. You know, it's not some magical formula, which only illustrates how badly third parties are screwing over people. Because it's like, you too could make great games if you actually tried. Or maybe not, I don't know.
Right. Well, still the doctor isn't back yet, so I might as well pass him up. So now on to the next question, which is, well, this isn't actually a question. It's more like an observation, because what I'm seeing with this latest U-turn with the Wii U, this actually happened with the GameCube, the Dreamcast, the Wii, and right now the Wii U. But I'm noticing this trend here that from the GameCube, almost everyone smashed that console until I noticed some sort of realization that people actually like the GameCube. It was around, maybe I think it was at the start, no, or halfway in the Wii lifetime, when I'm seeing a resurgence of articles saying that the GameCube was actually great. Looking it back, then I noticed the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was actually around the same time. Then the Wii, I'm seeing that U-turn. I noticed that U-turn for the Wii was actually around possibly at the end of its life cycle. And now with the Wii U, is right now as we speak, as in just at the middle of the life cycle, which is, I'm noticing this trend that, like, almost every console that's almost all of those consoles, it seems like that U-turn is getting shorter by a generation. Anyone else is noticing that? That was a question.
Like, you talking about, like, in terms of, like, the perception of Nintendo consoles, like during and after the generation has passed?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I've noticed that. I mean, I've noticed that that too. Like, I mean, with that Gadget article, like, people are, starting to, like, appreciate Nintendo's, first, their systems. But it's been a trend that I've been seeing for a while now. But I mean, I think it can only be a good thing that, that people are starting to see that, more sooner than usual. Because, I mean, you have to think about it like this too. Like, you have, like, the gaming industry that, like, pumps out a lot of BS about, Nintendo consoles throughout the generation to kind of skew, like, public opinion. And then once that's over, once that generation is over, you can actually, the gamers themselves, the people that actually buy and play these games, and were able to enjoy them, they can speak about, say, hey, you know what, the GameCube wasn't a bad system. It had a lot of great games. Or the Wii, wasn't, wasn't as bad as people said it was, because it, it had a lot of fun games that I could enjoy. The same's happening for the Wii U. Not everybody's buying into the whole, the whole, like, BS, like it has no games and all that stuff. I think
Dude,
real.
you said the dirty word, though. See, you said fun, okay? You said fun. See, you can't say fun. It's all about pixels and graphics and features and and power and 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, it's all about a console, being more and more like a PC instead of enjoying,
A
original.
console being a console. They
Yeah,
can't they
exactly.
can't handle that shit. Look, I don't buy a console to play console games. I buy a console that basically is a bootleg PC. What's wrong with you?
With a small amount of first-party games and
Yeah,
shitty third-party games.
yeah. Why are you expecting a console to have first-party games? What's wrong with you people?
Like, I mean, if people are gonna criticize, like the Wii U, I mean, at least be honest about the other two systems, about how they also lack, a lot of quality games. I can go out right now and buy like every, like multi-plat for the other two systems. But I'm not going to enjoy it because the thing is with me is like I gotta really find like a really good game like I can really enjoy. I don't just buy games compulsively, and leave them on my shelf and like never, like never play them. Like I gotta buy a game that I'm really gonna, get into and enjoy.
Tuber, I'm gonna have to call you out on that, man.
All right, go ahead.
You must not be a real gamer then, if you ain't buying every fucking game that comes out.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Nintendo, over the years, man, it made me spoiled. Like with Nintendo and Rare and all those companies, man, the old school companies. Like I really like. It's hard to find really good games nowadays. I guess
Yep.
according to my taste, like old school gamers. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, there's plenty of games on the shelf at GameStop, but you notice like once you go to those stores, you're just looking at the shelves like you don't even know what you want to get because I mean, there's tons of games, but the quality isn't there. Like back in the old days, you go to a store like you didn't know which one you want to get, but like it was in a good way because you wanted to try them all. Nowadays, just like it's just it's a mediocre experience.
It's meh. It's meh.
The game is not
Oh
great, but
no!
whatever. Like people make excuses to for those crappy games too. So it's like,
Guys, you guys, I'm gonna call out the BS on this. You're right, Tuber. You seen the Scalebound trailer? Have you guys seen all that? Have you always seen that?
yeah, I've seen it.
How much you guys want to bet that game's gonna flop when it releases because there's not enough, focus on the fact that that game may actually be a quality title. And they're gonna
Well, I
focus on
mean,
the fact that it looks too much like a Japanese RPG.
I
well,
just
I'm gonna be frank with you. It's a platinum game, and traditionally, platinum games don't sell well anyway. I'm not saying. Look, I'm not saying. And here's the thing. Okay, I'm not saying that I want it to fail. I'm just simply saying that
It looks
traditionally
amazing.
they
It looks
don't
like a
do
fucking
well.
amazing experience.
Yeah, agreed.
Because let's look at Bloodborne. I mean, not Blood. Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive was a fucking awesome game, and people were like, "We want new games. We want new games." They got a new game, didn't buy the shit. So I mean,
Oh,
So
okay.
how many Nintendo enthusiasts out there, Nintendo gamers out there, have created a what do you call it a what's the damn oh have created a petition for that game on create a petition to get that game on the Nintendo platform. I mean, anybody?
I haven't seen that yet, but like,
well, I was thinking about doing it. I was gonna call it
I mean, wasn't there like a petition for Bayonetta 2 to be?
No, no, seriously, I
They
was
were
gonna
mad
create
as
a
shit about that,
petition.
man.
No, seriously, I was gonna create a petition to get Scalebound put on the Wii U or at least on PC. I was gonna call it the Scalebound redirect, but I
Damn, shots fired, Mr. Red.
but
Said the dirty word.
but
What did you say about Scalebound?
I was gonna create the Scalebound redirect.
a petition
But
for it, Scalebound.
a petition redirect. But instead, I was like, you know what? Let them have their awesome. Because like, here's the thing: the Xbox One, even though I philosophically will not buy that console ever, has some good first-party games that will not be on anything else. Sunset Overdrive, which will probably be. I'm telling you, 2-3 years, maybe next year, you'll probably hear Sunset Overdrive is coming to PC because.
yeah, I just don't think there's an audience for those types of games on the Xbox One. Like as much as people say they want those games, the
They don't
sales
buy
aren't
'em.
really. Yeah, the
Yeah.
sales aren't really showing that.
like Bloodborne is gonna be, look, it's a Platinum game. Platinum does not make bad games, but for some, their games are very niche, and that niche is not on the Xbox. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, it's kind of like that RPG that everyone keeps on going ham over. That Poppy's like, man, it was the greatest. It was like the true sequel to Final Fantasy. That may be the case, but the thing is that the audience for those types of games will never be on an Xbox. It's an American console. I hate to say that. I know that sounds terrible. It's a fucking American console, and the thing about American consoles is that they're American. And American gamers, you know,
like Don Matrick said, backwards compatibility is backwards.
Oh, that's what he said, because he's a fucking idiot. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, you said that?
Don Matrick.
Oh yes, he said that.
No wonder he got fired.
Don Matrick got fired because he said this. Well, you know, people are like, well, the Xbox One always has to be connected to the internet. What about customers who don't have a stable internet connection or don't have internet? Well, we have a product for people like that. It's called Xbox 360. When he said that shit, like Xbox, like Microsoft shareholders were looking at that shit and said, oh, his ass has got to go. Like,
that's a dirty word.
Your ass has got to go. Because you don't, I mean, that was like, I call that a Bernie Stoller moment. Like, a Bernie Stoller moment is when a CEO says something so stupid that they should have a dude who pops out with a wife beater on and some dirty shorts on, barefoot, and go, man, you done fucked up. You just done fucked up. That right there, when you said that, that's when you done fucked up. Basically, like that's basically who they should have had when Don Matrick said that, because Jeff Keighley must have given him a look, because he tried to fix
the look alone.
Jeff Keighley must have given him a look that he knew he had fucked up, but it was too late. Like, it was too late. It was too late to turn it back. Because Don Matrick is just a fucking horrible CEO, because he ran the Xbox division into the ground. It was already kind of being run in the ground anyway, because 15 years of not making any money off of a division tells you it's being ran badly anyway, but he made it worse. He made it far worse, you know. But whatever. Anyway, so
right now my last question is, now I'm going to be very humble here, because I'm even going to not enlighten, not divulge. I'm going to fancy the Nintendo haters out there for this, at least this one question. Well, actually two questions with the whole clickbait title. But anyway, now when you look at the comment section, the very first comment, well, actually, it would have been first 3 days ago, but I digress. This question or this comment says, "How much Nintendo pay y'all for this article? Lol."
Oh, the comment.
And now, and the reason why I'm going to indulge these Nintendo haters, because I'm going to ask this question: did Nintendo actually pay Engadget for this article?
I don't think that they did.
I don't think they did, because we all know Nintendo does not negotiate with terrorists.
Nah.
I just think that, as far as that article is concerned, I just think that it's one of those, few articles that was being written at a time where everybody's kind of like down on the Wii U, that was actually positive about the system.
Yeah.
And I think that it was a joke by one of the readers that commented on that article. Because he did put LOL at the end of his statement, so he was kind of joking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, dude. I wasn't fucking with you.
But that's like that Polygon article that they wrote about the Mario Kart sales, 8 sales, that was going to be a lifetime sales of,
No, that was clickbait. That was that Polygon article was total clickbait, because
they went back and corrected it, didn't they? They changed some wording.
No, they changed some wording around, but the original one, they were like, it's never going to sell more than X, Y, or Z. I was like, why would you, like, first of all, why would you want a company to fail? Like, here's the thing.
That's where they need to get that kid. They need to get that guy, like you said, Mr. Red Fox, with white beater.
the you done fucked up guy. Like you done like okay. It's like I was like okay. As you guys might know, I'm going back to school, getting my political science master's degree, my master's in political science. Okay.
Nice.
And like that means I have to watch shit about politics all the time. And I was watching the debate from 4 years ago with Rick Perry, where he forgot which agencies he was going to get rid of, like his presidential debate, or he's like for the Republic. They need to have the you done fucked up guy pop up there. It's like you done fucked up. You done that right there was when you fucked up. You done fucked up. I mean, they need to have the you done fucked up guy in politics. Like Don Matrick, when they pulled out at TV Sports, they should have had the you done fucked up guy. You done fucked up. Sony, when they unveiled the PS3 and they said $699, no, it was $599. Like
You need a second job.
Yeah, you need a second job. They should have had that.
Yeah, so you need 2 jobs.
You fucked up. You right there when you fucked up. You done fucked up. Like, you know, people need to know that sometimes you do shit and you done fucked up. I mean, you know, we're human. Being human is a long cavalcade of fucking up. That's how we learn. We learn through failure. But Don Matrick will not be learning through his failure any longer at Microsoft or Zynga. Dumbass.
Yeah, we need to get the phonies out of the industry. Like the guys in charge, man, they need to be like actual gamers. You know,
Yeah.
at least get more gamers in there that can give these companies a perspective. Because while they're looking down from their ivory tower, and like they're just so obtuse to what people want, like a lot of these companies would be able to do better if they got more of a gamer's perspective, and not just any gamer, like someone with like a balanced, you know, opinion about, you know, about what most gamers would want or desire. Because you feel like a lot of these decisions that they make is just, you know, you're just wondering, you're left scratching your head like what the heck are they doing, especially with Microsoft, you know, the Xbox One, that you know, the reveal and everything.
Oh, come on, Tuba.
So you're saying they need more Iwata in their life? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like you need to get some more. Like people say, you need to get Jesus in your life. You need to get some Iwata in your business, because maybe that might help you be a better company.
Oh, come on. Come on, Tuba. You forgot to mention about the whole presentation about this one person or this one developer who said that you don't need to be a gamer to be a developer.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. They should have had the you done fucked up guy when he did that fucking presentation. You done fucked up. Now you done fucked up.
Yeah, but
that's who they should.
Because like, look at Don Matrick. Like, I heard like people like the reason why he kind of stuck around, because he did make the Xbox division profitable, you know, during his tenure with the 360 towards the end. But you can tell like
the only day that the Xbox 360 was profitable was when Halo 2 launched. That's it. For one goddamn day, that console was profitable. Other than that, just like it's basically like Microsoft went to a toilet, a huge industrial-sized toilet, and threw bags of money down it and flushed it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, the direction that he took, you know, with the 360, which almost spilled over to the Xbox One. I mean, if that was like an actual gamer, somebody with a gaming background, somebody who even like was like invested in the Xbox brand, you know, that would have never really happened. Like that whole, you know, because I thought like Xbox One would have been like it would have been like would have had a better showing, would have had better momentum coming in, and they just completely killed that goodwill as soon as they revealed it. So, like an actual somebody with a gaming background would have handled that, you know, that next Xbox 360's next system a whole lot better.
Well, I'll be frank with you. This is why I know that a lot of the people working on the Xbox One were just corporate suits doing what they were told. Because a real gamer would have said, always on, always online, DRM, nah, fuck that shit. $100 million. They needed Chris Rock in there. $100 million for a new controller? Oh shit, Lord, that's some bullshit. Surely y'all can do something. Can't you use this old shit right here that you made?
That's crazy for a controller, man.
$100 million. They could have taken $100 million. They could have made an indie fund, $100 million indie fund, and had gangbuster indie games exclusively on the Xbox One. Who the fuck signed off on $100 million budget to design a new controller? Who? What the fuck?
And why would you buy Minecraft for $2 billion and yet we still have no Conquer sequel?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, some of the things that have been going on at the Xbox division, I'm just like, you people are brain damaged. I'm sorry, you are brain fucking damaged. Like, I mean, look, people want to know why Phil Spencer's like, well, we think we should. No. Because Nadella looked at the numbers and said, you people have just been flushing money down the toilet. Just flushing it. Just boosh. 15 years, boosh. And have nothing to show for it, you know. If you gave me $100 million, I guarantee you, I know nothing about making games. I guarantee you I could probably do more with it than what they did with that fucking controller. Okay.
So wait, with AAA batteries, like.
Yeah, and it uses batteries. I'm like,
AA batteries.
You fix the battery issue? I mean, I got a Wii U gamepad that's also a controller that arguably can do more shit and doesn't use AAA batteries or AA or whatever the fuck. I mean, you couldn't fix the battery issue, you know?
You could tell that, like, the people that were handed the money to design this controller, you could tell, like, they took the money and ran. Like,
yeah, they did. Yeah.
You know what's very ironic to me? I bet the new that new Xbox controller that you can customize with came out a lot cheaper than what they did when they blew out their pocket money out of that $1 million that they did with that other controller.
Oh, the standard controller?
You know, and here's the thing. I know that they keep on saying that.
I think they just add zeros and shit. I'm my perspective.
That new controller is just shit. That new controller is just. I mean, like I've played the new Xbox controller. It's moderately better than the last one, but like Xbox's controllers have never been all that good.
I like the 360 controller.
What are you talking about?
When I say they've never been all that good, like, I mean, like, the Xbox controller is basically kind of like it's basically, it's functional. It gets the job done.
I like the 360S controller. Yeah, that's
it's not really all that, like, okay, the controllers of the Xbox 360 are not built around a particular concept, right?
D-pad's horrible.
Like, I'll give you an example, okay? And I'm going to use Nintendo as an example because, fuck, they really revolutionized controllers, so why not? Like, the N64 controller, weird-looking controller, but that controller was made for 3D-style games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It was made to play 3D-style games. The GameCube controller was made to further enhance the shit you could do in a 3D world. You know, the Wiimote was made for basically quick integration and shit. Like, it was made to pull people in, but once you got into it, it's like, shit, you can do a lot of shit with this game. I mean, to tell you the truth, I used to be a heavy PC first-person shooter gamer. I thought nothing could beat a mouse and keyboard. And then I got a Wiimote and Nunchuck, and I was like, this shit's on my mouse and keyboard.
So
Yeah.
why was the what do you call it, the glowing dildo? What was that created for?
Oh snap!
The move is made. It's well. Here's what you might not know. The move was made so that people can go on PlayStation Playroom, and with their girlfriend or man, if that's your sexual orientation, and have fun with the glowing dildo. With the glowing dildo with your girlfriend and a boyfriend or whatever your sexual preference may be. And yeah, it's it's made for, they're toys for adults. Okay, we've kind of gone off the rails. We need to finish this topic so that we can move on to the next little bit, to the main topic.
Well, I have another topic if anyone else doesn't have any.
Go ahead.
Now, I have a concern with, again, Scott Moffat. When around July 24th this year, that they've asked him about the Wii U Zelda and and another Metroid Prime for the Wii U. Now, his whole official statement was okay until I actually read when he said, and I quote, "But let's be happy for what we have." Now, mind you, before I even read the article, and it was on NintendoEverything.com. At that time, I noticed that was the one article that actually had a lot of comments. I looked at Scott's statements, and then when I reached the part of "but let's be happy for what we have," I can see why so many actually took that in the wrong way. And again, I really do have a problem when PR persons would actually make a slip up, something like this. And dang it, Scott, why'd you have to say that? Anyone else would think that Scott would have just leave that part out, or could have said something else.
No, because he's basically what he's trying to say is that we should be happy that there's a company like Nintendo. Maybe I'm spinning this to fanboy side, but maybe maybe he believes that. But he's Nintendo. He's Nintendo blood runs through the man. So he totally believes in the company and the platform in the future and what it's worth. And he's basically telling us as gamers out there, hey, there's a lot of stuff to play right now on Nintendo side that you should be happy with because there's a lot. I mean, there's between the 3DS and the Wii U and the Wii, there's a shitload of stuff to play.
Yeah.
And none of these fucking assholes out there complaining about this shit. They can't tell me that there isn't. I'm sorry. You're full of shit.
Yeah. I mean, the 3DS is backwards compatible with the DS. So even if you, by some weird chance, don't have a 3DS game you want to play, there's a huge fucking library of DS games to play. So there's no excuse for you not being able to play on that system. The Wii U is backwards compatible with the Wii. If you have a Wii, it's backwards compatible with the GameCube. There is no. If someone comes up to you and says, "I have a Nintendo system, current or last gen Nintendo console or handheld, and I have nothing to play," that's your own fucking fault.
Yep.
You know what I don't understand with that kind of statement? Because back in the day, I mean, like for me, like I didn't have a whole lot of disposable income for games as a younger kid. So like when I was able to get a game or a game came out and I saw it on the shelf, I would get it and I play the heck out of it before moving on to like another game. Like I was never like, I gotta get this game, like getting a game like every week or whatever, not and then not finish it and then like create this whole huge backlog. Like now it's like if people get older, they have more disposable income, they can buy more games, right? But like now it's coming to the point where they're buying all these games and they're not even finishing it yet. They're complaining about not having enough games to play, even on the Wii U. It's like, like if people, if you have like a life, you have other things to do, in your own life and things to take care of. Like, I mean, like even if you didn't have one, and all you did was like, all you did was focused on straight on video games. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff to play. Like even last generation, there's still games to play. So I don't understand how this whole I don't know, this ADD culture, like where people just have to instant gratification culture.
That's
where people
it.
just have to have the new thing.
And you know what?
Where are people getting the money to buy so many games? Like, do they really have no life? I mean, the game is $60. You buy 3 games, you're already spending around $200. If you think
Yeah,
of it.
which is why most people, which is
Which is why they trade in. That's why.
yeah,
they trade
which is
in.
why
Yeah.
people trade in, because they don't have income and whatever. Which segues nicely into the main topic. Since we just started, we just talked about how people are buying games and don't really, some people aren't even beating them, or still complaining about how they don't have games. Talking about games. This is the main topic. What games are you guys looking forward to this year? Slash throughout the holiday season that are coming out that you are looking forward to playing or buying?
I'll go first now, and I'll just pick just one game. And it's not even going to be a Nintendo game, but I'm not sure about this, but I have to ask: is Cuphead coming anytime soon, or even this year, or probably early next year?
I think it's supposed to come out this year. I think.
What
this
game is
fall.
this?
It's actually an indie game.
Cuphead, the indie game that's like an Xbox exclusive.
It's coming out next year.
Oh well, shit. Never mind.
Yeah, so you're SOL on that one. Triple A.
Dang. Well, I'm just gonna go with the obvious and say, no, I'm going to be a bit of a troll. I would like to see. I would like to see Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Oh, get ready for the death threats on
That's
now.
coming out next year, by the way. Looking at-
Unfortunately, I mean it's coming out what's coming out this Christmas, this fall. But if you want to go Metroid Federation Force, you can. I'm not gonna.
Say that again. Triple M.
Yeah, I was picking Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Nice.
Man, speak for yourself. I'm looking forward to that game. Damn it. How dare you, sir? How dare you? So, who wants to go next? Since he chose Federation Force.
I'll go
Okay.
next. Xenoblade Chronicles, because what the heck is coming out this year?
Oh man, I'm
knew
waiting
it.
for that game.
What is
I am
coming out
waiting
this
for that
year
game.
anyway? Is there anything
be-
coming out this year that's worthy note? Or is it
Yeah,
all
it is, but
Well,
I'll give you-
let's see. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Fatal Frame,
Yep.
Devil's Third, Star Fox Zero,
Well, I'm talking about for the other consoles.
Triforce Hero. For the other
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Star Wars Battlefront Light.
I just
You
want
know
to
what?
say that for the other systems, if it's coming out this year, like they say it's gonna come out, like Persona 5. They said it was releasing this year, so
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm going
Only,
to speak.
look, that's the only reason I'm keeping, because I'm telling you, once that game and Yakuza 5 comes out and I beat them, I'm getting rid of the PS3.
I'm going to speak about Star Wars Battlefront. Now, after seeing the game at E3, to be honest, I'll be going back on my word and say, okay, I'll let EA slide, just because right now it looks good. Hopefully it plays good. That the whole the space fighting. Okay, I'll give you a pass if you couldn't implement that the space dogfight. But now you better do really good and actually bring back that part for the next game.
And fuck that. I will never take my foot from out of EA's ass.
I just wish that Factor 5 was still working on the Star Wars games, because that's the only way I'm touching those games. Like,
Yeah, especially dogfights. I mean, like
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have dog." It's an on-rail shooter, is what it is. Okay, it's an on-rail sequence. That's what the shit is. I'm like, really, motherfucker? Get the fuck out of my. We were playing on-rail sequences on Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, and Super Return of the Jedi on the SNES. Get the fuck out of my face with that shit, EA.
But Mario Tennis is coming out this year too, right?
Yep.
What about the Fire Emblem game, the new one?
Fates.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah,
coming out?
that's next year, I think, or maybe no, it's next year. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it got released in Japan already, but it's gonna be about a year translation
I'm,
wise.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for Mario Tennis.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. I'm just glad it's back on home console. So I guess I'm guessing Mario Golf will be next then because they both go hand in hand.
Man, I'm waiting for Mario Golf. That is my shoehorn. I
You know,
really hope they bring that one on the
I
Wii U.
actually don't like Mario Golf on consoles.
Oh, you like the RPG elements?
I like the RPG elements of the Camelot ones. It's weird. I know. It's like okay.
Camelot's working on the Mario Tennis game, right? They working.
Yeah, that's their thing. I mean, they went from being the Shining Force people to now making sports games. I'll never understand it.
They gotta make a home console Golden Sun.
Yeah, they do. I would totally. I just bought Golden Sun, The Lost Age.
Yes.
Oh,
I
nice.
just bought it, and I'm playing through the first one, and I never realized, like, I used to be really good at that game. I beat that game so many times, I knew all the secrets, and now I'm having to remember all that shit because I haven't played in such a long time. It's a good game, though.
Dark Dawn never happened. Let's pretend it never.
Dude, Dark Dawn was not a bad game. It just wasn't as good as the first two. It's not a bad.
Maybe they're a bit rusty. That's all.
No, it's not as good as the first two. But you can't, like, here's the thing. Okay, you can't expect someone to come back to some shit 15 years, like 10, 15 years after the fact, and just pick it up like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, but I mean, for what it was, look, they put this: Dark Dawn was better than the shit we've been getting out of Square Enix for the last 10 or 15 years.
Good point. Good point.
So,
anyone still anticipating for a fast racing Neo?
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, I'm gonna get it.
I
but
bought everything on Shin. Anything Shinin I buy.
That's not like okay. I'll tell you the games I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to Shadowrun Hong Kong, which comes out in 13 days. I'm looking forward to
Fallout 4.
Fallout 4, even though I know it's going to be a broken piece of shit. I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I already know it's going to be a broken piece of shit. I don't care. I'm looking forward to. Let's see, what else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Star Fox Zero. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I'm looking forward to, but I know my life is going to be consumed by it.
My life will be consumed with that game.
I'm going to buy it, but I'm not going to play it until I have that week, those 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year's vacation. That's when I'll play it. Let's see what else.
That game's a beast.
Yeah, that's when I'll get that game.
They're constantly optimizing it. So.
Yeah. Let's see what else. That's it. That's what I'm. And Super Paper Mario. Oh, sorry, not Super Paper. Mario, Luigi, and Paper Mario. I want that Paper Jam. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, I think I'm the last one to go.
Go.
Okay. How dare you have none of y'all said Mario Maker?
Well, I mean, because here's the thing: Mario Maker isn't really a game. It's a level creator. So
it's like calling RPG Maker a game.
No, it's like me getting excited about I like people who were like, oh man, Little Big Planet. It's a fucking level creator. Listen. I know Mario Maker's going to be awesome. Those 60 levels, one of them was made by Michel Ancel. I know it's going to be awesome. But here's the problem. It's 60 levels. It's not a Mario game.
Michel Ancel, that's the guy who made
Rayman. Yeah, he's the Rayman guy. So, yeah. I mean, I know it's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome, dude.
I know it's
going to continually update that, right? So you can download them? You can, download levels?
Actually, once you complete
a certain
amount of levels, you can go online and make your own levels and share and download. So technically speaking, even though it starts off with 60, the amount of courses that can be in that game are fucking limitless. So I mean,
So how many
kudos to Nintendo.
courses do you guys think are me created
Day one,
no making
a dick, boobs,
yeah, penises and
dirty
ball
words.
sacks?
Oh, there'll probably be. No, look, I can guarantee you right now, there's gonna be some sick levels made, and people are gonna like not even, and then Nintendo's gonna have to make a harsher rubric for you to get your game put into to get your level put into the game, because you know there's gonna be a level that's like.
I mean, they're already doing that shit on Splatoon with the little Miiverse posts and shit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. I mean, you know it's gonna happen because what day does Mario Maker come out on?
September 11th.
Exactly.
September, yeah.
Exactly. Pursuit was
Yeah.
gonna be stupid that day.
Yeah. I'm just saying that. You know, like I can't really include Mario Maker as a game because it's not really a game.
Yeah.
It's like someone saying I love Mario Paint the game. Mario Paint wasn't really a game. It was an application. Like way back in the day. Like it's an application. It's like Microsoft Paint. Remember Microsoft Paint? Yeah, it's like that.
It's not just that game though. Of course, I got Xenoblade Chronicles X, and here's another game I'm surprised you guys haven't said. Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, I've already pre-ordered that game. I've already gotten like 3 amiibos for it. Yeah, my life is just God.
I want to say one thing about Super Mario Maker. That the whole the creator has to finish his own level or complete his own level.
Yeah, that keeps trolls.
Is that a sign of saying Nintendo is saying, you guys can create and publish levels, you just can't create broken one?
Well,
no, because it'd be like Mr. Red Fox was saying, the troll
you have
level.
to be strong enough.
Yeah,
you have to be good enough to beat your own hard ass level. So you can't just well, this is gonna really fuck up people, and then no one can beat it. Because we've all played games like that. Like I've played games where even the developer has difficulty beating it. Like they can't beat it unless they use a cheat, and I'm like, this game is fucking too hard. But you know,
Mario World, remember those levels?
It's like Iwata said back in the day. He was like, look, back in the day, like the people who quality tested your game were also the people that made it. So to them, it was too easy. So they had to make it really, 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 really hard in order for them to feel challenged. So that's why the games were really hard back in the day.
Yeah, they were fucked, man. They fucked with people back then, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to think about it.
Because
these games were, they weren't really long as far as development wise were, so they had to make them challenging to have that replay value about them.
Yeah, because like all the Ghouls and Ghosts games, like
man, I remember when
so...
Ghouls and Ghosts on Super Nintendo, man, that shit was so fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, I actually beaten it, but
that game was hard as shit, though. Man.
I have that game on like 3 consoles. I have it on the MSX.
That game would kick your ass and make you want to slap your mama,
I've got that game on the MSX, the Genesis, and the Super Nintendo. And I had it on the NES, but someone destroyed my cartridge, so.
I will say, like,
it's not a rare game.
Like, in Ghouls and Ghosts, like,
you're talking about Capcom.
Like the opening demo, like not the opening, but like after the title screen shows and then the demo even the demo players couldn't beat the first stage. Like they get killed in like 10 seconds.
No, they were just playing badly. Like I was like, because Capcom did that where they'd have the opening demo and it would have someone playing badly. I'm like, come on, man, shit, you can do better than that. That was like one of their things, which segues nicely. If we've covered everyone except Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Feelgood, what games are you looking forward to getting this fall and throughout the holiday season?
Dang it!
Okay, I guess he's playing Splatoon.
I still want some.
Let me go get him. I'm gonna get him in Splatoon 1 second.
I still want to get his answers on my topic, but anyway, that's a no-go right now.
No, dude, if he's in Splatoon, see, you don't know about it. See, if you had a Wii U and you were playing Splatoon, you'd know, man. Once that Splatoon gets your ass, it grabs you and it doesn't let go. We have some questions we have to get to. The first ones are not in the Q&A. We'll get to those. These are from the comment section of our video. This one is from Rubix8703. What do you think the focus of Nintendo's next Direct will be? Do you think there will be a section dedicated to Iwata, or do you think it will focus on a particular game? Who wants to answer this question?
I bet they're going to focus particularly on the game.
I think their next Direct is going to be about what their new membership program is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because let's not forget they said that Club Nintendo's going to get replaced by something. But they're going to talk about it around August, but we still haven't seen it yet.
Well, August is just. I mean, we're in the first week of August, so. I mean, they've got this month. I think they're going to focus. I think they might bring a game into it. They might say, well, you know, these games that you bought already, you know, you can tie them into the new thing, and you'll get X, Y, Z, or you know, this game coming out, you can tie it into the thing. But I mean, they're going to have to, because I mean, they said it. They're going to have to do it, and they might say something about Iwata. They might.
Like here's also like the whole Club Nintendo replacement. You think they're going to have some kind of implementation with Mario Maker after the new replacements there?
Possibly. Here's the thing. Personally, I think that they might do something where they combine the Digital Deluxe program, where basically the more Nintendo shit you buy, you get like points back or like credit back that you can use to buy shit from Nintendo. So that's what I think their new Club Nintendo is going to be. But that's just that's just speculation. I have no basis on this except Iwata himself said this like a year ago. Yeah. So, next question. Are any of you guys looking forward to Rodea the Sky Soldier?
Not really, but I mean, I know it's going to be at least a decent game because it is being done by Yuji Naka.
Yeah.
No comment.
It's a part of a Wii game.
Yeah, the thing is from what I've heard, is that the Wii version of this game is better than the Wii U version because the Wii version is like Nights into Dreams 3, whereas the Wii U version is just kind of like mediocre. So, I mean, I don't.
Is the Wii version coming to this country, or is it just?
Yeah. If you buy the game, you get the Wii and the Wii U version. Like the Wii version comes with it. If you get the physical version of it, which makes sense because it sold like ass. See, what happened to this game is that it was in development hell for so long that it missed the perfect time. So in Japan, if they had released it earlier, because it was in development for like 3.5, 4 years, if they had released it in a 1.5 years, 2 years, they would have made their money back. But now it's like it's not like they missed their time.
I hate pre-order bonuses.
Well, it's not even a pre-order. You just if you get the physical edition, it comes with the game because they didn't sell enough in Japan, so they just it's the normal version now. I'll pick it up, but once it gets a little bit cheaper, because well, I mean, I never really thought that highly of Yuji Naka anyway, so sorry.
I agree. Nights into Dream was overrated.
No, Nights into Dreams isn't a bad game. It's just the thing about Yuji Naka that I find that makes him overrated is that
It doesn't hold up to today. It doesn't hold up to today.
Nights
you can play
into
the whole
Dreams,
Mario Bros. And that bitch will hold up to today.
Yeah,
you can play Nights into Dreams and that bitch.
Well, the thing is that Nights into Dreams to me it does hold up, but his more famous thing is fucking
Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic the Hedgehog does not hold up. He doesn't. He does not hold up. He like I tried to go back. I have the Sonic the Hedgehog collection for my PS2. I tried to play that shit, and I'm like, okay, I'm having fun. I like the music, but the gameplay style is just shit.
Previously, there's a video called I think the name of the channel is Previously Recorded, basically talking about how Sonic was never good.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I've seen it, but I haven't seen a comment. It was like Sonic's key objective back then was pretty much beat Mario. That's all he was good for.
Yeah, he was made to be cooler than Mario. But the thing about Mario is that Mario's not cool. That's what makes him timeless. Is that he's not trying to be edgy or slick or cool. Mario he is who he is, and that's who he is.
Yeah.
And Sonic, I'm sorry, dude, you suck. You suck. Okay, this next question is also from Josh S. Also, if the NX is a handheld, what launch titles would you like to see? Big fan. Okay, if the NX is a handheld, I want to see... Actually, to tell you the truth, I would like to see some a good handheld Mario game. Maybe I don't know, some other cool stuff. I want to see some good RPGs on the system. That's what I want to see.
With me, I really would like to see Battalion Wars.
Well, the thing is that Battalion Wars was always on a console. Army.
Well, actually, Battalion Wars is actually Advance Wars on the console.
No, on the console it was Battalion Wars. On the handheld it was Advance Wars.
That's what I'm saying. On the console, yeah, Advance Wars.
Yeah.
Well, it's Battalion Wars on the console.
But Battalion Wars played completely differently than Advance Wars.
But you know what? I remember when that GameCube adapter for the Game Boy Advance came out. You were able to play like Game Boy Advance games on your GameCube.
Yeah, I had that.
That's when I started playing those Super Robot, Super Robot Tyson games or some shit.
Yeah,
I like
Advance Wars. That shit was fun, man.
I like Advance Wars. I mean, the Game Boy Advance was killed before its time, and I hope Nintendo brings back the Game Boy. That's what they need.
Wasn't that an amazing piece of hardware, man? That fucking Game Boy Advance.
No, the Game Boy in general, the whole line was just fucking awesome.
I just hate the GBA was killed off so early. Like, it was only around for like, what, 4 years?
You know, but the DS could play Game Boy Advance games. You could just pop them in. Like the fat DS.
So really, so really the DS the Game Boy Advance lived on a little bit longer than 4 years, technically speaking.
Yeah.
Because they were still releasing games for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 3 years, you know. But not Nintendo, because they moved on to the DS, which was fucking awesome. Awesome handheld. So those were our questions in the YouTube section. So now it's time to get to our Q&A questions, which let me open up the app
Mr. Red
here.
Fox, can I say something before you move on?
Go ahead.
All right, well, actually, you know what? Since this is Q&A, I'll hold off to it. I'll hold off on it.
Okay. What does everyone think about Star Fox Zero? Personally, I personally am obsessed with it. But how do you all feel about it? What intrigues you? What makes you nervous about it? The only thing I'm afraid of is the Star Fox fan base not buying it out of protest. Anderson Archilla. Let me get into this right now. I'm a Star Fox fan. Ever since I got the first Star Fox when I was a little kid, my parents got it for me for Christmas actually. That's the Star Fox that I love the most thus far. The other ones were pale imitations of it, in my opinion. Star Fox 64 is okay. Star Fox Assault, okay. Star Fox Command, okay. But my favorite will always be the first one. I hope Star Fox Zero evokes more Star Fox, the original, and less Star Fox 64, because that one just... to me. With that being said, what do I feel about the Star Fox fan base not buying it? They can go fuck themselves. They can go take a step back and fuck themselves, okay? Because frankly speaking, the way those little whiny little bitches were complaining about, we want a new Star Fox, we want a new Star Fox, we want a new Star Fox, and they get a new Star Fox, and then they were like, okay, we want Platinum to make it. We want Platinum to make it. Platinum is making the new Star Fox. And they're still, I mean, some of them are still bitching. A lot of them have shut the fuck up. But some of them, well, no, that's not true. There are a few of them, well, it doesn't look that good. I'm like, you little whiny bitches. You don't complain about anything. If your girlfriend will give you a blowjob, you'll be like, well, she didn't do it like that chick in the porn girl. So I'm going to bitch about it. So you should be happy you're getting a blowjob. So,
wow, Mr. Red Fox, you're going in on these guys tonight.
So you know, fuck them.
Hey, man,
that's how I feel about them. If they're not gonna buy it, fuck them.
Red Fox keeps the Red Fox legacy, aka.
That's right. Go fuck you guys, okay? You don't want it, don't buy it. That's okay.
I will say this. I hope these Star Fox fans are not going to end up like the F-Zero fans.
I mean, you know, just if you don't buy it, I don't care. Okay then. So
they don't buy F-Zero. They want F-Zero, but they don't want it. Sometimes you know what it is, guys. It's that the mystique of not having something, or the possibility of it coming back or not, not coming back, and in reality that type of game wouldn't survive in today's video game industry.
Well, I mean,
ecosystem.
That is the reality of it, because people don't realize that F-Zero was always a hardware. It was a showcase. It was a hardware showcase game. On the SNES, it showcased Mode 7. On the N64, it showcased the power of the hardware. On the GameCube, it showcased the power of the hardware. That's all it does. I mean, but Nintendo has other games that showcase the power of their hardware a lot better than F-Zero ever could at this point in time. Because at this point in time, graphically, there's nowhere else you can really go. So
unless they want to make those characters realistic like Mario, get their Lord.
Oh God, no. The only way they could possibly take F-Zero right now that could probably revitalize it a little bit is if they completely turned it on its head, and maybe if they did something akin to gave you a game that was centered around Captain Falcon, let's say, and you were actually trying to get he's a bounty hunter. And you had to hunt down these people and chase them in the Blue Falcon, and disable their vehicles so that you could capture them and shit. And you actually got money, and you could upgrade your hover, your F-Zero racer and shit like that. But that wouldn't be F-Zero, right? And so the thing is that you have this small rabid base that really wants this game, but in order to make it big enough, in order to get other people to buy it and make it viable, you have to change it. So you risk alienating both parties, because there's no guarantee that if you change it, people are going to buy it. And if you alienate the core fan base, you're not going to get them to buy it. So, whatever.
Isn't it the same conundrum that Final Fantasy VII is having right now?
No, fuck Final Fantasy VII. Fuck Square Enix and fuck Final Fantasy VII, and that asshole who didn't even know he was directing it until he fucking saw his name in the credits of the film.
You just don't understand. The Final Fantasy VII is the greatest RPG of all time.
No, the greatest Final Fantasy ever created is Final Fantasy VI. The greatest RPG of all time is Chrono Trigger. A new Black Fantasy is upon us. Which side will you guys be on? The side of the delicious one, aka the Wiener Schnitzel hot dog, or Gozer the Destroyer, also known as Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man? I only have one question to ask you, Anderson Archilla. Are you a god? What, no one got that? Come on, man. Ghostbusters. Jesus. You guys really need to get your cinematography up. My God.
I'm a big anime nerd.
Yeah, but you've never Ghostbusters?
I know what Ghostbusters is.
At the end of the first movie, Gozer asks Ray, are you a god? He's like, no, not necessarily. And then Gozer shoots the lightning at him, and then Ray, Peter's like, Ray, if an evil prehistoric ghost bitch asks you if you're a god, the answer is yes.
Oh yeah. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, I promise.
I'm Wiener Schnitzel. I'm the hot dog, because I like hot dogs and I'm not crazy about food. Anyone notice that a good portion of the upcoming games have RPG elements? Not knocking it, but it is a bit off.
Awesome.
Well, there's no place else where you can go with a lot of these games.
It's called replayability, guys.
Yeah, you have to add RPG elements in order to make it, better.
No, make it not better. More like have more content.
Yeah. Because, like I said, graphically we've hit the wall. There's nothing you can do graphically that's going to make these games better. So, unless you want to spend exorbitant amounts of money, adding little customization features. I found this gear and added it to my character and made them do this. That's RPG elements. So, whatever.
But then here's the thing with me. I hope they're not going to do it in a way that they're shoehorning it in the game.
Well, at this point, anything's better than the shit we've been getting, so add RPG elements all you want.
Fuck that.
Because have you played these games before they started adding RPG elements? Ugh.
Don't even ask that. Man.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Anyone else in the predicament where they find themselves both hyped and also dreary of Fallout 4? It looks bitching, but there's also the realization that it'll be plagued by probably be plagued by glitches and long load times.
Well, if it isn't plagued by glitches and long load times, get ready for the ground to part, the sky to turn red, and a demonic rock band rising up from the ground playing the last song. I don't know.
Well, if it's not buggy and glitchy, then I'll know it wasn't made by Bethesda. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If your PC can run Skyrim on medium to high settings, you'll be able to play this game no problem because it's built using the Skyrim engine. And so basically, they should theoretically have been able to get a lot of the bugs out of the Skyrim engine. Now, I'm saying that, should theoretically, perhaps, okay, notice I'm using conditional phrases and words, knock on wood. Is it still going to be broken? It's Bethesda. That's what they do.
Well,
so,
the game looks like it could run on the PS3 and Xbox 360.
It probably could, but I mean those systems like Bethesda. What Bethesda does is they release a game, right? They're going to release this game. You'll probably see some DLC come for it either before E3 or during E3 next year. Then they'll release like 3 or 4 DLC things plus the toolkit, so people can make their own like mods for it and shit. The modding community will fix the numerous bugs and glitches that Bethesda couldn't be bothered to deal with. And people are going to take it because Bethesda games are best played on PC. Always.
Right.
No applause? Okay.
Crickets!
Well, we all know it's going to be broken. I'm just saying. I still pre-ordered it. I don't care. I know it's terrible. I talk about don't buy these buggy, glitchy games.
Yes,
I'm addicted. Look, I like Elder Scrolls and Fallout. I'm sorry. I like Fallout before Bethesda ever got their grubby hands on it. I'm just a huge Fallout fan. Triforce Heroes is coming October. Anyone else get the feeling that the premise of a Hyrule obsessed with fashion and being able to dress Link as Zelda is a jab at Japanese character design that tends to be over the top and androgynous?
Blame Final Fantasy VII. That's what started it all.
No, it was before that. Final Fantasy V had androgynous characters who looked weird too. It's always been there, but Final Fantasy VII made it mainstream, I guess. But
it does get progressively worse for each new installment, though. I think.
I have a question. What is with Japan making their protagonist males look so feminine? Like, hardly do you ever see a gruff-looking, muscle-bound, protagonist that's that's not.
Have you ever watched? Have you ever watched any rock bands? I mean, have you guys ever watched rock bands like those those hard metal? What do you call them? The gothic metal and.
They went androgynous, but androgynous used to be the thing in the '80s. Well, actually,
with all that
the late '70s, early '80s. Yeah.
They've been doing this shit for years, guys.
I mean, Prince did it. Michael Jackson did it.
Yeah.
They all did it. David Bowie.
It's all to garner attention. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about bands. I'm talking like Japanese anime.
I don't know.
It's idolized.
It's all culture, man. It's culture. It's about culture, man.
Yeah.
I guess to them, it's not attractive to see a dude who looks like a
normal
man.
guy.
Yeah, a
normal
man.
guy.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about a normal guy, just like a really gruff looking.
Yeah.
It's all about idolizing, and that pretty much if the guy looks like a girl, pretty much when it comes to cosplaying, that means both the guy and the girl can cosplay that particular
Well,
character.
they're called ikemen. Like you're supposed to look like like in Japan they call them ikemen, and it just means a gorgeous young man. But the thing is that a gorgeous young man in Japan, since facial hair isn't really like prevalent in Japanese
In Asian
genes,
culture, yeah, they don't really
in
go
Asian
much.
culture and Japanese genes, a ikemen looks like it's a dude with really smooth facial features. And, like they don't look like you think of traditional dude. It's weird. Next question from Anderson Archilla. Do I need to play the other Yakuza games before I even touch 5? Also, is Yakuza 5 a sad reminder of the glory days of Sega and their downfall? I mean, it's not getting a physical release, only digital. I did not know it was not getting a physical release, only digital. You don't need to play Yakuza 5 because all the Yakuza games have like a little like what happened previously thing before they start, where you can just jump in and watch the long cinematic things, because Yakuza is like a soap opera, except people don't talk about how you're my evil twin, you killed my brother Klaus, and I thought you were dead. They talk with their fists. They, in Yakuza, Kazuma Kiryu talks by throwing a bicycle frame on someone, then jumping on the bicycle frame and curb stomping motherfuckers and taking pliers and pulling out their teeth and shit. So yeah, it's great. Yakuza is actually one of the good games that Sega does make. It's a budget title. Doesn't take a lot of money for them to make it, but it's really fucking fun. I love Yakuza.
So what are the gaming industry? To add to that question, what's the gaming industry is gonna look like? Like how will the gaming industry react when Sega and Konami just completely bite the bullet, say night, and close the.
I think there's a reorganization of this whole industry itself going on right now. Think about it. Microsoft came out and basically threw in the towel and said we can't keep up with our own practices that we created. I mean, think about that. Obviously they've got new leadership, they got new management involved in the Xbox division, but the shareholders are no longer footing the bill.
Yep.
Now Konami, they've lost their ways. They realize that they're a one-hit wonder. I know they got the Pro Evolution Soccer, but they don't. That's not something that's going to carry them throughout the world. They may hit Europe.
It's just Europe, yeah. Just Europe.
Are you talking about Konami as a
corporation? As a corporation. Listen, they haven't cultivated their IPs to the point where they can transcend generations, so to speak, and leverage that to the point where they were once known for. And Capcom obviously has made very dirty deals, very dirty indeed.
Especially with Sony.
To use the dirty word, they haven't made much profit, and they haven't reinvested in the company because they run on credit. They operate on the foundation of credit, which is what the Western mentality is, to run everything on credit.
The problem with that,
spend excessive amounts of capital that you don't really have to run a fundamentally flawed business.
The problem with that mentality is you have to pay the credit back. You have college students who buy credit cards, or just anybody, not just and think, oh well, I can just put this on credit and not have to worry about it. And then next thing you know, they're eating dog food because they can't afford to eat.
Dude, I don't know what college students you're talking about. God damn. It's kind of, but you're right. Konami and Capcom and Sega. But here's the thing: Sega actually does make money. It's just their video game part doesn't really bring the money in. It's the Sammy part that does the pachinko and gambling. Yep. So Konami, Konami does make money. It just has fuck all to do with gaming. So it's pachinko and their health clubs. So I mean, the thing is like they're like Sega's trying to hold on because that is a part of the identity. But I mean, they fucked up. Like when Sega made a series of bad business decisions along 30 years ago. and they have not come back from it. Okay, they're still reeling. Well, not 25 years ago, and they're still reeling from it. So that's on them.
But you know what? A lot of people fail to remember is that even because they're not a platform holder anymore, so they don't have the need to continuously advertise themselves as a corporation. They're taking, I guess, the word of mouth approach most of the time for their games.
Sega?
Yeah, except for Sonic Boom when they released that trailer, made everybody think it was going to be, some awesome shit, and it ended up being shit, but it wasn't awesome.
Well, it was shit. You're right on that one. It was shit.
You know what? I still can't wrap around my mind with Konami with the whole you cancel a Silent Hill game that's in development or scratch PT, and then you make a pachinko slot out of it. Not to mention the fact that also that erotic Castlevania pachinko slot.
Yeah, please don't bring that up. Just don't bring up erotic Castlevania, please. Don't do that.
Hey, can I bring up one topic, Mr. Red Fox?
What?
Can I bring up one topic?
Go ahead.
I don't know if you've spoken about this, but Mighty No. 9 has been delayed officially.
Yeah, I know. And fuck KG and Fune.
Remember I told you how he was gonna screw himself by being so fucking greedy. He basically turned his back on the majority of the population that supported that project, which was the Nintendo fans, where he basically stated that he said that we were like Nintendo fans weren't going to get the nice limited edition bundles which had the little character statues and shit and books and all that nice artwork and stuff. So if you bought the Wii U version, you're not going to get an opportunity to do that. So if you invested into that project or that Kickstarter, you essentially are fucked. Unless you own a PlayStation 4.
Give me my money back, or else I'm gonna burn down your whole studio.
But you know what's crazy? I mean, the fact remains that they're not ready to launch that game, or maybe the little test thing that they did turned out to be negative because they had some negative feedback. I was hearing rumors and referencing the quality of the game itself and how good it really was, and there's a lot of negative feedback on that. What do you guys think?
I thought it was just.
Are you talking about Mighty No. 9?
Yes.
I'm piggybacking off of that topic. I'm kind of curious. Do you guys think that Kickstarter is a viable resource? If not, is there any alternative ideas to crowdfunding? But if it is, what could be changed?
Listen, Kickstarter is a viable resource when there's some type of controls, type of regulation or something.
Well, it's not even that, because here's the thing, okay? I keep on harping on about Shadowrun, right? I love Shadowrun. It's had 2 Kickstarters. Both of them were successful. I contributed to both of them. We got our fucking games with all the content they said was coming. And if you got the original one, even when they add an expansion to the first one, it was free if you bought the first one and contribute and all that shit. So, I mean, Kickstarter is good when the company or studio doing the Kickstarter because here's the thing, Kickstarter is a good faith thing, right? Everything's being done in good faith. If the people that you're giving your money to have in good faith are trying to make good on what they promised, then it works out. But when you got a motherfucker like KG and Afune,
it wasn't Hideki Kojima, didn't he state that KG and Afune he's just a businessman?
Yeah,
he called it, didn't he?
Oh shit! I mean, he wasn't bullshitting then, because this motherfucker, he signs a deal with Microsoft behind the scenes, basically splits his team in half to start working on another project, making the CGI for E3,
Yeah, I mean that's the
Exactly.
problem. That's
Yeah,
my
He doesn't
problem
have
with
enough.
KG
Yeah, he
Inafune.
doesn't have enough bug testing going on to the current project because
Yeah,
he already got the money.
that's my problem with KG Inafune is that
It's a
like,
big middle finger out to gamers, especially
well,
like Nintendo fans.
people are like, I can't believe that this game was delayed. Yeah, it's delayed. This motherfucker is supposedly making a game for the Xbox One. He launched a fucking Kickstarter for a Mega Man Legends a Mega Man Legend-esque game, but the other game that he did a Kickstarter for isn't even out yet. I mean, this motherfucker's off the chain.
The thing is, you raised $4 million, $4 million to make that Mega Man
Hey,
like
Tuba, I'm gonna tell you a secret. You know he didn't just make $4 million off of it. You know that, right?
right.
No, because
but
he
I'm,
also
I'm
got
not,
money
my,
off
The
of
third-party publisher that picked it up
yeah.
paid paid into the project as well. They gave him another 50% or 100%, and they matched it. That's
oh
what
my
it was.
goodness.
That was
So,
the deal.
But
Yeah, he
my
isn't shit. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
my point is that there's no reason the game should look like that. No reason at all the game should look, should be of that kind of quality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Games
it
from,
looks like
know,
shit.
exactly. You can take the Inafune out of Capcom, but you can't take the Capcom out of Inafune. That's the that's the lesson to learn here.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we never got that type of shit out of Keiji Inafune when he was at Capcom. Those games were polished, and yet this game is decidedly not polished.
This is a man that just has to retire if he no longer has a passion for making games. Because even when he was back at
It's all
Capcom,
about the money, guys. He's
he
all
used to
about the money.
complain. Exactly, he used to complain about the Japanese gaming industry, how it's finished, and meanwhile this guy's already made his millions off of his previous games, and it didn't to me it doesn't seem like he has a passion for it anymore. But he still wants to make some kind of money off of like people's nostalgia. But do it the right way, Inafune. Don't go around and scam people out of their money and play with their nostalgia like that and then give them a shoddy product at the end of the day. Like, come on, like really is this going to be your legacy? Like, I'm not surprised at how this game got delayed. The game may play okay, but it's not the game that people have been asking for. We should have gotten a way better product, something along the lines of Donkey Kong Country, Returns or whatever, like that kind of quality.
Hasn't Mighty Number 9 been had a Kickstarter since like 2013, I believe?
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing: this game has been in development for too long. And here's the thing: people should have known there was something wrong with Inafune when. Remember when he first left Capcom, he was going to make this game called. It was going to be kind of like a Romance of the Four Kingdoms, except like with animals and shit.
Yeah.
And that game like was in development limbo for years.
Vaporware.
And then they finally dropped it. Like, because I mean, KG Inafune, people should have been like, there's something strange with this motherfucker, and yet look, all I'm gonna say about it is this: when KG Inafune left Capcom, we're like, oh, Capcom, how dare they let KG Inafune leave? Maybe there was a good reason for them to be like, pack your bags, get the fuck out, because the way he's been doing some shit, I'm sorry, fuck that guy. So we have another question here. A certain someone said that anyone who thinks Metroid isn't on the Wii U because of sales of the series has terrible reasoning. I then go look at the sales of the series, and the series is outsold by Animal Crossing and Donkey Kong Country. What are your thoughts? Exactly. People who say they want that, like, because I mean, we all know. I wish Double M06 was here. He had a debate with someone who basically said that the reason that the Wii U isn't selling well is because it didn't have a Metroid, and Metroid Prime would sell gangbusters. Metroid Prime Metroid Prime, the highest selling Metroid Prime was the first one. With each consecutive iteration in that.
I mean, the Prime series sold reasonable.
I mean, it sold well. They made a profit.
Actually, the 2D Metroids have always sold reasonably as well.
Yeah,
I mean, think about
Metroid
it. It
has
doesn't cost
never
as
been
much to make a 2D game as it does a 3D.
No, Metroid has never been a huge. I mean, why do you think the next Metroid Prime game is on a fucking handheld? Because it's cheaper, and even if they don't sell gangbusters, they're gonna make money.
You know what I would like to see? Like for them to make a 2D sprite, hand-drawn Metroid game in the vein of the old school, you know, NES and Super NES days, and use pastel type colors and shit.
Well, they did the hand-drawn thing. It was called Metroid Zero Mission
No, I'm
Infusion.
saying, but use like pastel colors, like Yoshi's Island and shit.
I was with you until you said that. I hated that art style.
I know, but I'm just saying, I like to see something different like that. You know what I'm saying? I know it's kind of sounds like fruity and shit.
No, I don't think the art style lends itself well to the. Because the thing about Metroid is that it's also about the atmosphere. It would be really hard for me to get into that atmosphere if everything was like pastel, bright colors.
I think it bring in a different, more people into it. Some people don't like that dark tone.
I don't know. I kind of think that dark tone kind of suits Metroid well. Like I know
it's
that
like Castlevania. It's like if you made a Castlevania where it was set in the daytime and there was light everywhere, it kind of destroys the whole point of you being this dude by yourself fighting vampires.
You know what Konami could do to make some more money? If they really get fucked. They go back and just redo the first 4, 5, 6 Castlevanias.
Yeah,
Shit.
but that would make sense.
You know what I'm saying?
And we all know that Konami has a aversion to making sense. We had 2 commentary from James Wade who didn't really ask any questions, so
he's a fan. He's a fan, Mr. Red Fox.
Okay, I guess so. Our next question is from Yin Yang Yao. I personally enjoyed Mario Party up to 8 and felt 9 and 10 were not a good deal to me. So the question is, do you think Amiibo Party is at least more akin to the past Mario Party games? It could be. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not, like, enthralled with Amiibo. There's just certain ones I'm going to get because I like the characters, like Mewtwo, Ganondorf, but I really don't give a shit about a lot of the other ones, so, yeah. I don't know if Amiibo Party is going to be good. I'm not going to get it because I don't want to play a game where I have to have Amiibo in order to play it. Even though I have
a lot
Amiibo.
of people are asking about that shit though.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's gonna make Nintendo money. I want them to make money.
I mean, think about it. How many Amiibo tards out there? You know?
So then they can make money and spend it to make games that I want to play. So I'm not gonna begrudge them their hustle.
But Mr. Red Fox, I haven't bought an Amiibo because the only one I really want is Shark. But how many of these guys out there that said they didn't want no Amiibos, they weren't going to jump on that shit, ended up buying a whole shitload of them. You see that all the time, right?
Look, you can do whatever you want to. I mean, so our next question is: so apparently the original Wii version of Xenoblade Chronicles was made available in Europe via the eShop. It's only a matter of time before we get it here in the States, along with the special edition of X. So should I skip the new 3DS version then? If you want to. I mean, like, here's the thing. If they're going to bring it over to America, then I mean, like, here's the thing. Because I already have the Wii version of Xenoblade Chronicles. And I'm, like, I was going to get the new 3DS version, but I already have the original. So it's like, I mean, you know, worst comes to worst, I can always just buy the shit for $19.99 or $10 or whatever and call it a day. So, whatever. It's. I mean, you can do whatever you want to, Anderson. I mean, you know, yeah.
I think with me the question is, are you going to wait and see that will actually happen when they brought the Xenoblade Chronicles on the eShop here in America, in the States?
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. At this point, I mean, it really doesn't matter because you're going to get. I mean, either way, you're going to get paid. I mean,
but then also, would you like to play that game on the go or at home?
How's it going? We are at the end of the podcast, so.
Dang it, Doctor!
But like here's the thing about me. Like, in my mind, some games are for consoles and other games are for handhelds. Like Pokemon is for handhelds. I had the Pokemon games that were on consoles, and most of them, in my opinion, sucked. Pokemon Coliseum 1 and 2 on the N64 were like nah. They were like shitty
Maybe.
party games. They weren't good Pokemon games, and they were shitty
I-
party games too. They weren't good at either of them.
I have to
And-
disagree with the 64 Pokemon Stadium games. I thought they were pretty good.
The,
The
the
college-
only
the college-
the only
the
the
col-
only
yeah.
the only good thing about them was that you could transfer your Pokemon to there. It was like the precursor to the Pokemon Bank. That's the only, and you could rent Pokemon from there into your main game. And once you beat it, you could like increase your walking speed in the Pokemon game. Like it had good cross connectivity, but other than that, it was like
I think it was good for what it was. The GameCube ones, I can't really say too much about, but I heard it wasn't as good as the ones for the 64, because the 64 ones were done by HAL Laboratory, and I like the mini games. I mean, back in the day, I mean, just being able to see your own Pokemon like in 3D, like the ones that you've like raised and trained and stuff like that, like that was a cool concept. But like after a while, yeah.
I didn't really. I mean, like we both played the game, and I think we're feeling differently about it. Because for you, that was cool. For me, I was like,
It was not enough. It was not enough for you, Red Fox.
Yeah, it was like this is it. And then I mean, at least with Coliseum and Gale of Darkness, you at least got some type of storyline. But even then, I'm like, look, what people want, just give us a huge open, just give us a Pokemon game on a console with better graphics. Maybe instead of having the Pokemon do that stupid shit where they pretend to fight each other, actually have them beat the like they did in that 4-episode mini OVA anime where like the Pokemon actually beat the shit out of each other. That shit was awesome. Let us do that.
Yeah. But I don't know if
Yeah,
they'll
let us do that shit. Look, if you make us a console Pokemon that does that shit, I guarantee you people would love it. Well,
all they got to do is if they brought Pokemon Red and Blue to consoles, it will be over.
Yeah.
If they, I'm saying just even Red and Blue, it will be done.
Yeah, update that shit. Maybe make it so that once you beat the game, like you can go as Red to like all these other places and catch like newer generation Pokemon and shit. Like, I mean, that would be the end of it. That would be the look. They could charge people $19.99 for DLC for new places to go to catch Pokemon. People would buy that shit like that.
Yeah, I agree. Like
Whatever.
even back then, I was wishing for like a full 3D Pokemon game. So, I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, we should have had that. We should have been had that, but.
You know, it's Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo's going to do whatever the hell they want to do, and they don't give a fuck what we have to say about it. So, I mean, I admire that about them, but sometimes it drives me crazy. This next question is from Yin Yang Yao.
Unless they still make really fun games.
As long as the games are fun, that's all that matters.
All right.
But voice chat.
Not that again.
Look, people can have all the voice chat they want. I don't really care. I play games for fun. I don't play games for, stupid shit like that.
Exactly. And also, like, some people don't want voice chat because of the negative environment it has in association with voice chat in a lot of other games.
No, dude, I don't care. I'm gonna be honest with you. If voice chat existed if they made a 3D console Pokemon game that had voice chat, because it has voice chat on your 3DS, and you can actually hear people through the thing.
Yep.
If it had voice chat, you know what I would just be talking mad shit. I'd be like, yeah, you thought that super Pokemon you had was gonna do some shit, because I have beaten some people who had Pokemon. They knew they had my ass. But I use a strategy where, like, I have all types of things to avoid attacks and stay alive for, to get that next hit in. And then when I send out my next dude, he'll finish you off. And they can't deal with that shit. So, one last question. This is from Titan990, a.k.a. Titan Prime, or Titan GameCube. Was a big guy on Player Essence until the editor in that channel lost his damn mind. One last question. Apparently, people are upset at the response that the Treehouse gave about localizations. What are your thoughts about it? They just told the truth. It costs money to localize, mad money. If it's just text, it's a little bit cheaper. But if you're talking voices and shit like that, why do you think so many games are coming over now that when they are brought to the States that are just like text translated into Japanese, but like the text is translated, but they still use Japanese voices. It's
And I
not
like it
because
like that.
they
I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
I prefer
It used to
I
be
don't
like
want some
that all the
corny
time.
ass fucking
It's cheaper.
dude, bro,
Yeah.
doing translated
Yeah.
fucking dialogue for
It
I'm
is so
really,
much cheaper
a
to just
Japanese
get.
anime character or
It is
something.
I'm really
so much
feeling it
cheaper
though.
just to get, you know.
Hey, but that was cool though. That shot, I have to give it that. That
Yeah.
was actually very. I mean, it grew on you.
What
Yeah.
Schultz translation is it?
Yeah.
I'm really feeling it.
It's rhyme time.
I'm really feeling it.
It's rhyme time.
I'm gonna tell you, my
I'm-
favorite voice translation in a video game was, and I know this is gonna sound terrible, was the voices done in Skies of Arcadia Legend and
Mr. Red Fox, you
Tales
love
of
that Skies
Symphonia.
of Arcadia.
And Tales of Symphonia. Tales of Symphonia had really good voice acting.
Yeah. It was limited audio, but it was okay. Yeah, it was good.
No, yeah, they said the same thing over and over again, but when they had the voices where like that
The
scene
scenes,
where
the cutscenes, yeah.
Kratos, that's that cutscene where Kratos and Lloyd killed the guy who
Yeah, at the
infected
end.
his mother, and like he's like, "Die, you bastard!" Like stabs, dude. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn,
he was a
that's
great actor,
that
voice
dude
actor.
really
The guy who did his
you
voice, yeah.
felt it. Yeah, you felt. He's like, this dude's really pissed off that
And-
dude killed his wife.
But you know, was that actually a dude or was that a woman that did his voice? Like
That was a
sometimes they have
dude.
women.
That was a dude who did
Sometimes they have
Kratos'
women
voice.
do like young
Yeah.
characters'
like
voice.
the chick who does young Link's voice in Smash Brothers and in Ocarina of Time and shit was a woman. She also did the
Wow.
voice for Marth in
A lot of people don't know that, Mr. Red Fox. We're dropping
anime.
some knowledge.
It was horrific. Okay,
You know,
so
here's something I want to answer that question with. It's going to be.
okay.
I'm going to answer this question with a question. Do they finally realize they're not living in a fairy tale?
No, people seem to forget that. Yeah, even though gaming is about like they're giving a product to you to be fun and engaging and shit like that. This shit's a business, and these people have to make money so that they can pay people, so they can get more funds to make more games, so that they can sell, so they can make more money and fund their next handheld or hardware or whatever. People don't seem to understand that shit. So our next question is from Anderson Archilla. We got Golden Sun, the Lost Age, after other regions have had it for a while now, and yesterday was Metroid's 29th birthday. Question is, where the hell is Metroid Zero Mission? That is a good question, and I answer your question with a question. Where the hell is Metroid Zero Mission? Because that's my favorite 2D Metroid. Even better than, I like that more than Fusion. Fusion is fun. No, Fusion is fun. No, Fusion is fun. Okay, I'm not denying that Fusion is fun, but Zero Mission has they take the music from Super Metroid and put it in Zero Mission. Like Kraid's theme music, which is so much better than Ridley's theme music.
My question is this: it was about the whole localization thing. It's like, why is it that a lot of these Japanese companies, they used to just have the game would be translated with just text or English, but the voice would just be in Japanese. But now it's like, why is it that ever since HD development, everybody wants to have English voice actors?
Because they think it will appeal to a wider audience, so they'll sell more, make more money.
Look at Street Fighter. It's like, did they really need English voice acting? No.
Yes.
Well, for some of the
Because it wouldn't be great if I didn't hear Yoga Flame and kick and Shoryuken and Hadouken, hearing the horrific, the horrible sound synthesizer. I mean, it's part of the, you win, Yoga Flame.
But it had a charm to
Boom.
it. It had a charm to it, though.
You know what? I also want to say that the games that have also charm to it in terms of English voice acting is the Sega arcade games like House of the Dead.
Yeah, because it's so bad, it's good.
Yeah.
Especially, if you played House of the Dead Reloaded or whatever, the one that's set in the 70s, it's like a pulp blaxploitation film with all the cussing. You motherfucker! What the fuck is that shit right there? And the ending, I'm not gonna spoil it for you people, but House of the Dead Overkill, that's what it's called, Overkill.
Yeah.
The ending for that game is one of the most fucked up endings of all the House of the Dead. I mean,
It
it
really
is
is.
fucked up shit. It is. I mean, Sega, those motherfuckers are off the chain sometimes.
Yeah, man.
The
Oh
most
yeah.
cringe-worthy voice acting is probably in Tomba 2.
Tomba, I hated Tomba. I thought it was a shitty game.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Man,
I
I'm
agree.
I'm still in awe with Seaman.
With Leonard Nimoy and the guy who's just talking shit the whole time. Okay, what is it with people jumping off the handle to games still in development? Also, it's mostly Japanese games that also get this treatment, isn't it? Shouldn't people wait until games are near or fully released to judge? They should, but people aren't going to do that because gamers are fickle and most of them have an IQ of less than 70.
No.
Ooh.
You should say it like this, Red Fox. And I wish Poppy didn't leave so early. Like, because I wanted to
Early, dude. It's almost 10:30.
yeah, I wanted to Rich when he said about his fanboy statements, but didn't Reggie said that gamers are insatiable?
Yep.
No, gamers aren't insatiable. Gamers, most of them are fickle, and a lot of them have an IQ of less than 70. And the reason I say that is because gamers don't seem to realize that this shit takes time, and that here's the thing: if a game is in development, well, a Nintendo game, it's only going to get better as time goes on. Even if it looks like shit right now, by the time it comes out, it's going to look fucking awesome. Now, these Western developers like EA, Activision, Ubisoft, if you look at some shit right now, I guarantee that by the time the shit comes out, it's going to look worse. So, yeah.
Reggie gave them more credit than you did.
Yeah, well, Reggie gets paid to say things in a diplomatic way. I don't. So, our next question comes from Anderson Archilla. Anyone have hope for the upcoming Mad Max game? Even though it's published by the dreaded WB, I really want to play as the Road Warrior himself, exploring the wasteland, tinkering with my car all the way down to a dude named Scabrous Scrotus.
Okay, so basically, and this is not me shitting on the game really, but Mad Max could really end up being Watch Dogs. And
No!
it could really end up being Watch Dogs in a sandbox if you think about it.
Yo, Anderson, I'm going to save you some time and energy. I'm going to give you a game that lets you tinker with your vehicles, drive around in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, fighting off bandits and all types of strange shit while trying to save the world. 2 games, as a matter of fact. One's on the Game Boy Advance called Car Battler Joe, and the other one's a series called Metal Max. Get those games. They're fucking awesome, and they shit all over whatever this game's going to be. They're made in Japanese. They're an RPG, but you know, I like them. Same premise, and they beat this game out the gate. Okay, who dropped?
I don't know.
Triple M. Okay, our next question is regarding Yoshi's Woolly World. Will anybody else brutalize somebody for the Yarn Yoshi amiibo? Will everybody use the Wiimote for quick manual aiming? And will everybody have enough insulin to withstand the diabetes-inducing cuteness? I can't even withstand the diabetes-inducing cuteness. I've already pre-ordered my 3 Yoshi Yarn amiibos, plus the special edition that comes with another one. So I've got like 3 of those sons of bitches, and I'm just gonna go crazy. I know I am. I'm gonna have to hide my amiibos from my girlfriend because she likes cute things too, and she takes my cute stuff. I like cute stuff. I don't know. It's my one weakness. And our final question from Anderson Archilla is: anyone else interested in Armacrog, the point-and-click game designed by Earthworm Jim creator Doug Tennapel, featuring Mike Nelson as the main character and Rob Paulson as his canine sidekick? I understand that Doug is a bit of a controversial figure. I'll be frank with you. I'm going to get Armacrog, but I'd rather just have another Earthworm Jim game.
Yes, me too.
and have the guy from forgot his real name. Have the guy who did the voice from Earthworm Jim. You know, groovy. I'd rather have another Earthworm Jim. And I could imagine it right now. Give us an open world with a hub world. Earthworm Jim, maybe like, I don't know, maybe he's on this huge space station. He's got to figure out what's going down.
Rescue Princess, what's her name?
Princess, awesome. What's her name? Have him whip people with his head. Those awesome guns and shit. Maybe like
the snot whip.
The snot whip, like the snot parachute. Have him bring back his old enemies, Bob the Goldfish. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I really love Earthworm Jim. I'm gonna support Doug Tindall. The only reason people think he's controversial is because he fucking that Earthworm Jim was made to compete against Donkey Kong Country, and well, let me put it this way: Donkey Kong Country has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Earthworm Jim has 3. That should tell you who won. Okay.
You count Donkey Kong 64.
Well, yeah, because it's set in Donkey Kong Country, and you have the Kongs, and you have Cranky, and you got. I mean, it's a Donkey Kong Country game. I'm sorry, it's it's an open world where you run around. Look, Donkey Kong has a coconut gun, fires in spurts. If he shoots you, it's gonna hurt. DK, Donkey Kong. No. Yes, I love that game. Let me put it this way: Rare Replay has all the good Rare games except for the ones that really matter. Sorry to hurt you, Microsoft fanboys. Enjoy your 30,000 achievement points, you achievement whores. So that brings us to the end of our podcast. We have no more questions. I don't believe. Well, one more. I think that's all of them. Here, let me check. Yeah, that's all of them. That's all our questions. No. The last one is: are any of you are you looking forward to LBX, Yokai Watch, or Pokken Fighters? Pokken Fighters may or may not wind up on the Wii U or any home console. So, like, it's from Namco Bandai. Namco Bandai has their head so far up their own ass that it's not even funny. So. We don't know if it'll come. Like, it might just be an arcade machine. Because there's tons of Namco Bandai games that are only on arcades. Like, Mario GX is only in arcades. Mario Kart GX. So, yeah, it's Namco Bandai. Whatever.
What is Mario Kart GX?
Mario Kart GX is basically Mario Kart Wii, except it's on an arcade machine, and it has, like racers that aren't on the Wii version, like Pac-Man, Drybone, like all types of like really cool like alternate characters and shit. Like really, if Nintendo if they actually gave a shit, they would take that game and make like a special edition for like $70 and put it on the Wii U. But it's Namco Bandai. Like I said, their own head is so far up their own ass that they just.
Yeah. They too the same fate as Sega and Konami in time, and Capcom as well.
Yeah, Namco Bandai is just fucking. They do some things like, are these dudes fucking retarded? But enough about that. We're at the end of our cast, so I guess it's time for people to do their sign-offs and plug anything they want to do. We went a little bit over limit. I wanted this to be a 7:30 to 9 o'clock podcast, but
you know that never happens.
Yeah,
that was my fault. My apologies.
We always go over. But this time, it still wasn't as bad as that 6-hour cast we did with John Lucas. It was worthwhile, but 6 hours. I'm like, god damn. So, who wants to plug anything they're doing in the future?
Splatfest tomorrow. Don't forget.
Yeah. So get on there so that KH Anime can splat your ass, splat you good. And while shooting with ink, he's gonna say dirty things like, "How's that ink?"
That doesn't sound.
Drink it all.
That doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah, I know. That's why. And that's why voice chat is a good thing not to have on Splatoon, because some of the things I want to say while playing this in multiplayer are terrible. Like they could and here's the thing, there's like 13, 14-year-old girls from Japan playing this damn game. Really, some things that I should not be saying to 13, 14-year-old girls.
Oh, the language barrier, they won't even understand what you're saying.
Look,
Backlog?
a lot of them take English. They would understand what I'm saying, at least the gist of it.
The English.
Yeah, the English of it.
Excuse me.
They was like, what's this about drinking ink? I don't. Ew. And then they probably ask someone who
That is
knows a little bit more English, and they're like, ew, that's disgusting. So it's a good thing that the voice chat isn't there. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Because kids are playing this. Kids and adults, but some kids too.
Well,
So anyone want to? No one want to plug anything?
I'll go. I don't have anything to plug, but I just want to apologize to Anderson Achilla because there were two posts that he made about Star Fox Zero. The one before the game was not announced, was revealed, and one afterwards. And I really wanted to touch upon that, but I guess we don't have the time to do that. So. Apologies, Archilla, and also the topic that I have done. It's too bad the doctor couldn't participate in this, so maybe
I'm here. Don't you dare say that. I'm just in the middle of a splat turf. I'm sorry, tower control right now.
Right.
And we're winning. We're winning.
Well, good for you.
And guess what I'm playing with? I'm playing with the solution, baby.
Yeah, okay. So who else wants to plug something?
I just wanted to say that at least there were other members that I wanted to talk about this, which was GVGI and you, Shadow Fox, and even Micah Double MO6, and hopefully I think Endua Liga would actually hop on this topic of mine when he gets the chance. So that's all I gotta say. But this has been Triple M, the Lone Wolf of Partners for Games that pops out my artworks, and Splatoon.
Yeah. Just a little aside. Every time I play Splatoon and I shoot someone in the face with a bullet of ink, I pretend like it's a monkey throwing shit at someone. It makes it much more fun to shoot someone in the face in that game. Okay, who wants to push something? Who wants to plug something else?
This is Dr. Feelgood. I'm kind of here, but not here.
I know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, right now I'm doing this splat on the tower control, and yeah, like check me out sometime. I will have a full Splatoon review coming out within the next week. I decided to delay my review before the update. I was gonna do one, but I changed my mind. So I will be doing a full review of the full game. Well, I won't say full game. I would just say the update. But yeah, look for that among other things. Sorry for my wording. I just can't concentrate right now. But yeah, hit me up. Keep it gaming.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else wanna plug something?
I'll go next. KH Anime here. Remember, keep calm, game on. Remember, the Splatfest coming up in about an hour and 25 minutes. Don't forget, get Splatoon. Splatoon's an awesome game. Remember, once again, KH Anime here. Keep calm, game on. Out.
All right, and I just want to say it's Super 5 here. I'm glad I was in this podcast. Enjoyed it, and y'all have a good one.
If you want that muscular person, get that Ike Amiibo.
Okay, so I guess it's up to me. So basically, I have nothing coming on except finally got my new PC in, so look, I'll be uploading some Metroid Prime videos, uploading some more of the stuff that I said I was going to do this week, but life's been a bitch, school and life. So look forward to that. Next week, I'm doing a podcast called BS Busters, The End is Nigh, which, despite the title, is just talking about how we're seeing the end of all this bullshit money hatting and corporate malfeasance because they just, like, Sony and Microsoft can't afford it. So what does that mean for the industry going forward? That'll be the main topic next week, although people will probably bring stuff to talk about too. So, yeah, look forward to that, and see you.
See you later.